go ahead and just start. Just get everybody just go around, just give their name real quick so we can go ahead and get it started.
Hello, I'm Dionna.
And tell me where you're from, Dionna.
I'm from DC.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl T. Marie. I'm from Atlanta.
My name is Robert. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yo, what's up, folks? I'm Sergio James from East Oakland, California.
All right, so I kind of want to bring everybody together because a lot of times everybody went on as an individual. I think T. Marie and Robert had an opportunity to kind of go back and forth, ask some questions. It was great dialogue. I kind of wanted to put, bring Sergio in the fold, Dionna in the fold too as well. So let's start off with the ladies.
I did have a question. One of the things that stood out to me about your dating situation, your first dating situation, and I'm sure maybe a lot of people brought this up, is that you don't mind doing first dates at home, right? That you'll do a first date or you will do a first date at home. Kind of explain that to me, how that is a date of effort for a young lady for their very first date.
That's a great question. Different strokes, different folks. I can either pay $80 and take you out somewhere, or I can bring $80 here and have you flowers. Go ahead and make you a nice meal. I can set that up for myself, for us. I know how to cook, and so it just kind of knocks things out the way. It kind of like gets out the way of trying to play games. Some people just have this out of convenience. Some people don't have a car. I have a car, but you might have a car, distance. Like, it all depends. My house is Casa de la Sergio. Feel me? That's where it's at.
Yeah, but it's a first date though. Do you really think that puts out a lot of effort for somebody? Like, this is our first date, so why don't you come to me? That's convenient for me. I'm gonna be at home. I don't have to travel. I don't have to do anything. I'm gonna save my money, but I don't have to spend that money on you. But you come over here.
It's the experience. I've never had any complaints. Like, women want to come home with me, probably, and kick it with me. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll be over there and bring food to them, bring the wine, bring the flowers to them in their comfort home. Eventually, we want to come back to the house anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, not saying we can't go out and have a good time. No, but the women I've dealt with that are successful, from CEOs to songwriters to whomever, we're on one accord. They're about business. You know what I'm saying? So it works for me. It worked for me the other day, so I ain't tripping.
But hey, it works for him. Sound like you have a good time doing it. So I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying?
The part for me that bothers me is most men, I'm not saying Sergio or Robert or you, Mark, are unhonest about what their intentions are. And oftentimes, in order to get the draws, they trying to do baby, I'm really feeling you. I feel like it could be me and you. They don't say, hey, you know what?
I'm here to hit.
You only got to smash. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's all I'm looking for is something casual.
The previous question about being honest. So I'm constantly honest. And I think that's why certain women rock with me, because I am honest. And I have no choice. I have no game. Number one, I can tell her how it is. I know what I want. And some women like that, some women don't. It's all their approach. Another chick I met at the gym, she's a model. She came over the next day. We hung out. We was chilling. I gave her a massage on my massage table. That was cool. They both know what was up, but one wanted a certain energy that I wasn't given, that the one wasn't tripping off that energy. So they're both stand-up women. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on them. I'm very honest. And that's what it comes down to.
How did you know what's up, Sergio? You just say what was that? How did they know? Like, you said they knew. How did they know? So you tell them that I'm not looking for anything. I'm in school, because what you said was, it kind of sounded like you beat around the bush a little. Because one thing, you feed them, you're really kind to them. You feed them that Sergio shepherd, that whole little, you feed them that, and they draw into that.
Well, sometimes women hear what they want, even though you tell them, hey, this is what it is. Because I'm telling you from my experience, this is what I'm telling you. So
did you tell her that you weren't looking for anything? That's what I'm asking you.
Yes. Did you use those words?
Right.
Did you use those words?
Did you use those words?
Well, what we're saying is, yes, you don't have any problem with pulling 7 out of 10 women or 9 out of 10 women to come over and do whatever you do. But most of that is not based on you being upfront and honest about it is what it is, and I'm just here for a good time. In the words of, you know,
I've been doing this like I'm doing since I was like 18. You feel me? Like
absolutely. But you're also
up, and she's still not holding accountability after this man has said, "Look, my bad." And she still wants to hold on to that little bit of face, whatever that thing may be. I said, does that mess up in relationships? That was my question.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it right there. I didn't want to come what you're talking about. You was trying to like defend. I'm like, that wasn't where I was going.
I answered the question, so, and then I answered the question, and then I said, but we're in a world where we want to date each other. So us pointing blame at each other, me pointing blame at you, you pointing blame at me, doesn't get us on the road to being together. It's not a
blame game. You keep bringing blame. We're not even blaming you. He asked me a question. I had a topic about accountability. I wasn't blaming. I asked a question about accountability. Ms. Marie said, "Hey, we could say my bad. I messed up." It wasn't about a blame game. It's a question of women not being accountable, even though they know they're wrong. That was it.
I wasn't saying you were, Sergio. I wasn't, when I said the blame game, I wasn't talking about you specifically. I was talking about in general in relationships that don't work. Where people, what happens is people get caught up in who was at fault and they stop trying to figure out how to heal to make it work. I wasn't.
You're right.
That's not even, Sergio. That's not even how you have conversation.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go around, starting from Dionna. Go ahead and just start. Just get everybody. Just go around. Just give their name real quick so we can go ahead and get it started. Starting with Dionna.
Hello, I'm Dionna.
And tell me where you're from, Dionna.
I'm from DC, the nation's capital.
All right. So what we're doing, we're just bringing everybody back around. I guess some of the women had some questions possibly for the men and vice versa. I may have a couple of questions. So this right here is going to be a real loose conversation. So the next person would be T. Marie. Tell them where you're from.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, T. Marie. I'm from Atlanta.
All right. And next we have a man, Robert. Robert, tell me where you're from, Robert.
My name is Robert. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas.
All right. And last but not least, Mr. Sergio, tell me where you're from and what you got going.
Yo, what's up, folks? I'm Sergio James from East Oakland, California.
Okay. All right. So, I kind of want to bring everybody together because a lot of times everybody went on as an individual. I think T. Marie and Robert had an opportunity to kind of go back and forth, ask some questions. It was great dialogue. I kind of wanted to put, bring Sergio in the fold, Dionna in the fold too as well. So let's start off with the ladies. Let's start with T. Marie. I'm gonna start with her. So based on, I'm sure you've actually had an opportunity to talk to Robert. Also, now here's your opportunity. If you have anything for Sergio, kind of, if you want to talk, ask him a question or just anything in general, you can kind of throw it his way.
Okay. Hey, Sergio, what's going on?
Yo, what's up?
How are you today? I did have a question. One of the things that stood out to me about your dating situation, your first dating situation, and I'm sure maybe a lot of people brought this up, is that you don't mind doing first dates at home, right? That you'll do a first date or you will do a first date at home. Kind of explain that to me, how that is a date of effort for a young lady for their very first date.
That's a great question. Different strokes, different folks. I can either pay $80 and take you out somewhere, or I can bring $80 here and have you flowers. Go ahead and make you a nice meal. I can set that up for myself, for us. So I know how to cook. And so it just kind of knocks things out the way, it kind of like gets out the way of trying to play games, Some people just have this out of convenience. You know, some people don't have a car. I have a car, but you might have a car or distance. Like it all depends. My house is Casa de la Secchio. So that's where it's at.
Yeah, but that's a first. It's a first date, though. Do you really think like that puts out a lot of effort for somebody? Like this, our first date. So why don't you come to me? That's convenient for me. I'm gonna be at home. I don't have to travel. I don't have to do anything. I'm gonna save my money, but I don't have to spend that money on you. But you come over here, and yeah.
It's the experience. I've never had any complaints. Like women want to come home with me, probably and kick it with me, you know what I'm saying? Or I'll be over there and bring food to them, bring the wine, bring the flour to them and their comfort home. Eventually we want to come back to the house anyway, you know what I'm saying? So not saying we can't go out and have a good time. No, but the women I've dealt with that are successful, from CEOs to songwriters to whomever, we're on one accord. They're about business, you know what I'm saying? So it works for me. It worked for me the other day, so I ain't tripping.
Hey, Dionna, it seemed like you kind of want to chime in. I know you was kind of like just couldn't wait to double dutch yourself in. Go ahead, Dionna.
No, I was waiting. I'm being patient. Okay, I guess.
Go ahead.
So I have a two-part question. One, what is your expectation when you're dating? Like, what is your expected outcome of a date?
Or just overall in general?
Yeah, like, are you dating to have fun? Are you dating because you're looking for a special someone? What is your expectation when you're going on these dates or a date?
It all depends on the woman itself. Let's say you have 10 different women lined up. I'm gonna feel a certain way about each one of them. One may be super bad, but got a nasty attitude. One may be a Claire Huxtable, and I want to spend my time with her. One just may be a cool, chill. We can write poetry and chill at Piedmont Park. They all have different vibes. So I'm going to treat them accordingly, but it's always with respect. Initially, of course, men do want to have sex. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's about how you go about it. And women want it too. It's how that man goes about it. So if I see a Claire Huxtable, I'm going to put my effort into it. But that Claire, she might be a demon, and I don't even know it until 3 weeks down the line. So it all depends on the vibration of how they're moving and all about respect. So my intention is to find my helpmate, yes, but I'm focused on my goals in school. So if you're aligned with what I'm doing, cool. If not, then I got to keep it rolling. Like I'm not a kid, so we got to get out the way. And they say the same thing too.
Okay, so the follow-up question to that is, you meet your Claire Huxtable. Does Claire Huxtable come to Casa de Sergio?
Oh, Casa de la Sergio.
Right. Yeah, Sergio. Okay,
she ain't saying it right. She ain't saying it right.
I thought he said Sergio. I was like, oh, he named it after himself. Sexual. Okay, I'm sorry.
No. Like Sergio in Spanish, that's Sergio. So Casa de la Sergio is Sergio's home, Sergio's casa.
Got you. Okay, so does Claire Huxtable get the same date?
That's a great question. I don't know. She may or may not. She may or may not. All depends. That's a great question, man. We come back to that one. That's a great question.
Yeah, because I want to know depends on what. We're gonna go to Robert, I guess. Because I was like, what does it depend on?
Robert, how you feel about dates? How you feel about dates at first dates at your house, man? How you feel about that?
That's slick. You know what I mean? I don't do it. Or I wouldn't do it because you really don't know who you're gonna meet. You know what I'm saying? Like I had some girls that that you wouldn't want them to know where you stay after the first date. You know what I mean? So I definitely would have it by house. Cause now if I stop on the phone, now she just pass by. You know what I mean? Like let me see if he at home. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. So but hey, it works for him. Sound like you have a good time doing it. So I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. But you say you from Oakland, bro?
Yeah, East Oakland. Yep.
Okay, so they just I never really dated anyone from Oakland. I had dated a woman from California before, and they was just but he might meet people that don't really have that type of problem with. You know what I mean? Like coming by your house, stuff like that. But that what I'd be concerned about. The checkups. You know what I mean?
So I don't.
You know what I mean?
I don't have situations like that because I like to vet people out. Like we know if we vibe with, we're in alignment with each other. I'm not inviting some chick down the street that acting ratchet to my crib, but it's all about vibration.
Right.
It's not going to be in every woman that I see. No, like I went to Piedmont Park and had a little date, little picnic because I wanted to be outside in the sun. Yeah, it all depends on what the situation is. So it's not all the time come to the house first date. It all depends on if we vibe like that. You may say, Serge, you know what? Let's go and meet outside somewhere comfortable. I want to come over, but let's kind of chill. Cool. Let's go do it. I'm gonna throw it out there. You want to do it? Cool. If not, I'm gonna date. You feel me?
You gonna see if they gonna bite anyway, huh?
I mean, bro.
Because they close out, don't get fed. If you act, don't mean you never know.
So look, check this out. So my thing is, I think one of the biggest feedbacks I hear about, or I heard about what Sergio was saying the first time is that, okay, if that's what he do, that's what he do. But my question, and it's for the ladies, like, I mean, he can only invite women that actually come to the house. I mean, so really is, it's the woman's choice, right? So people will look at Sergio like he did something wrong. One, Sergio is being honest, right? He's being honest. He puts it out on Front Street, but the women are actually accepting. So how do y'all feel about that as far as the women, ladies? I mean,
so for me, I think that's why I went back to asking Sergio like what his expectation of dating was, because I also feel like I'm not mad at a woman that comes to Sergio's house, and I'm not mad for Sergio shooting his shot and inviting them to the house. The question is, what is your ultimate outcome? And I would be interested to know how many of those women that come on the first date matriculate to something past a month, past 2 months, past a second date, outside of it just being sexual. Like, I don't have a problem with it, but I think, when people are honest about what they want and what they're doing, less people get hurt. I think the fear, the part for me that bothers me is most men, I'm not saying Sergio or Robert or you, Mark, are unhonest about what their intentions are. And oftentimes, in order to get the draws, they trying to do the, yeah, baby, I'm really feeling you. I feel like it could be me and you. They don't say, hey, you know
I'm
what?
Here to hit.
You only trying to smash. That's what's up.
That's all I'm looking for is something casual. So
Right.
Is that what you're looking for? Because, and you would be surprised at how many women are like, yeah, I'm with that. But also you get with those women who aren't looking for that and you haven't been honest, so they're expecting more. And when they don't get that, you didn't put it out there on Front Street. You didn't give them the option to be like, okay, well, then I can rock with that. They're wanting something more, and then you're misleading them. Not saying you, neither, you guys. I'm just saying it could be misleading because they're thinking, yeah, because that's a whole nother comfort zone when somebody invites you to their house, right? You know that you don't just invite anybody to your house. So with that, they're probably thinking, damn, he must really think I'm special. He invite me into his personal space. So that's that could be another way of misleading them when it's just something casual. But I'm going to assume that you've had that conversation with them before they even come over, what you're looking for, what you're dating for, what you're not dating for. Do you have those conversations? Either one of you all. Do y'all actually have these conversations with women? Or do you even know yourself what you're looking for before you even start dating?
Robert.
Are you want to answer that first? Well, yeah, I always have them conversations. The thing is about me, I'm always open to conversation, because I don't want to mislead anyone, because I'm not going to really, in some instances, I'm not going to really give a whole lot. And I need that person to understand that, listen, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm just trying to have fun. I'm trying to date, trying to go out. I'm trying to, get to know someone that I can have fun with. I'm not really looking for a relationship, but if it happens, then, it happens. But I don't go into any relationship or anything with the expectation of we're going to have a relationship. Or I'm going into this for her to be my girlfriend or my woman. I don't go anything like that, because when you do that, a lot of times you kind of misjudge the person. You'll think, okay, I'm going into the thing for a relationship, but then we all be together for 3-4 months. It doesn't work. Now you get into the whole friendship as well as the relationship. You go into it expecting a friendship. You know what I mean? As long as you got that friendship as the base, the groundwork. Now, if a relationship is established from that, now you got a strong relationship. But sometimes friendships only supposed to be friendship. They're never supposed to go to relationships. But we so quick to rush into a relationship and wonder why all our marriages fail so quick. You know what I mean?
Right. So here's my this the biggest question I got, and I'm gonna shoot this back at the ladies real quick. Can you blame the predator or the prey for that? Right, and here's what I mean: if a guy is not being honest, right? Okay, to you guys' point, and I don't advocate not being honest, but let's just say a guy is not being honest, right? So at that point, a woman has to make a decision either way. And so can you, like, when women say, well, he ain't honest and he this, and we found out later, well, sometimes the signs are there before it even gets to that point, right? So can you blame the predator or the person that's being preyed upon is not being able to see those signs and also follow those signs too as well? So my question to you, T. Marie, as far as the prey in that position, wouldn't you think that, at the end of the day, if a guy isn't being honest, don't you think it's like her responsibility to try to figure it out and not blame the guy for that decision?
I think it's a shared responsibility because if as adults you should be honest. Okay, let's not go in acting like the honest part isn't important. You know what I'm saying? You can't go in being, you shouldn't. I think you can't. You shouldn't go in being dishonest. You adult, you grown, you're supposed to be grown. Say what it is you're gonna say. On the flip, I also speak of accountability. As women or whomever on the other side, when you start seeing that those things don't line up, then you can't be wishing they line up. You have to really be able to see what you see and take it for what it is. So it's a shared responsibility. Should you go in lying, being honest? Absolutely, you should. That just makes it easier. That just respects the person, that respects the situation. But on the other end, can you expect everybody to be honest? You cannot. So it's also your responsibility to be accountable and do your vetting and take your time to see if this person is who they really say they are.
Right. Okay. So let's go to the guys, and since Sergio was able to kind of navigate through that successfully, Sergio, let me ask you a question. Is there any other questions that you often wonder why women do certain things, etc., that you can possibly toss up to the ladies? This is a good opportunity to ask those questions. I
got you. I just want to piggyback on the previous question about being honest. So I'm constantly honest, and I think that's why certain women rock with me, because I am honest. And I have no choice. I have no game. Number one, I tell her how it is. I know what I want, and some women like that, some women don't. It's all their approach. I can't even try to game you up and make you feel a certain way because I have a genuine heart. So I can't. If you're beautiful, you're beautiful. I'm gonna feed you, like, spiritually. I'm gonna feed your mind. I'm gonna uplift you. That's my nature. So that's gonna draw women, people in general. So they know I'm coming from a good place, not like some nigga off the street saying, "Hey, come to my house." No, like, they know Sergio's about his business. He cares. He's for the community. So that's gonna attract a woman to want to be in my space like that. So even last week, I met a young lady off of Hinge. We had a little had a little sandwich at this coffee shop. It was cool. We vibed. She's gonna come over that Friday. But the fact that I wasn't giving her energy that she wanted throughout those days, texting her, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, good morning." She decided not to come on Friday, but she was going to come on Friday based upon our good ass interaction. That's on her. Another chick I met at the gym, she's a model. She came over the next day. We hung out. We was chilling. I gave her a massage on my massage table. That was cool. They both know what was up, but one wanted a certain energy that I wasn't given, that the one wasn't tripping off that energy. So they're both stand-up women. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on them. I'm very honest. And that's what it comes down to.
How did you know what's up, Sergio? Did you just say what was that? How did they know? Like, you said they knew. How did they know?
Because when I say, they're like, "Serge, what do you want in a woman?" I say, "Look, I'm in a master's program at college, all right? I'm focused on school. I have my own business. Like, if you're not on board with what I'm doing, I'm good. I want peace in my life." You know what I'm saying? So either they want to, like, have my energy because it feels good, or they say, "You know what? It's not for me." Okay, cool. It's not for you. But I've had more yeses than nos. If I have a no, that doesn't bother me because I know where I'm going as a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm single, educated, never been in jail. I'm a straight black man. I fit these marks that a woman will want. When I do find my player and it's in alignment, I'm down with her. I can't cheat on a woman. That's not my nature. I'd rather have a friends with benefits, but we're really friends. Like, I'm not just going to smash you and leave. Like, nah, we're kicking it. I'm a very genuine man. So women want that. And so if they're going to hop on board or just don't rock with me, that's okay.
So you tell them that I'm not looking for anything. I'm strictly, I'm in school, because what you said was, it kind of sounded like you beat around the bush a little. Because one thing, you feed them, you're really kind to them. You feed them that Sergio shepherd, that whole little, you feed them that, and they draw into that. And one reason why the girl didn't come on Friday, because she was misled about what she was getting from you on Sunday at the coffee shop. So she didn't come because she expected more, because if you were actually clear with her, she would have understood why you didn't text her or whatever throughout the week. She had a certain expectation based on her interaction with you. And so there was no clear line, because she didn't get what she wanted, what she expected based on your, way you guys vibe. The second lady you may have been a little more clear with her, or either she understood the assignment. But the reason why that girl on Friday didn't show up was because she was expecting more. She wasn't thinking that it was just, hey, I'm a student, I'm trying to finish my master's, I got this and that going on, and I ain't really trying to have nothing serious. She was expecting something from you.
Well, sometimes women hear what they want, even though you tell them, hey, this is what it is. Because I'm telling you from my experience, this is what I'm telling you. So
did you tell her that you weren't looking for anything? That's what I'm asking you.
Yes. Did you use those words?
Right.
Did you use those words?
Did you use those words?
Yes.
Well, whatever happened to the action thing? Y'all keep talking about y'all's words.
No, so it's a combination of a couple of things.
Actions from the beginning made her feel away. You know what I'm saying? They're new. Right. They just met, right? He just told you he gonna give you that shimmer, good old Sergio James, blah, 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 blah. He gonna give you that. Because that's who he is. It's just by nature. He's charming. You know what I'm trying to say? You look good, got your beard all right. She like, and he talking to me nice. Okay. And if he never says anything, she gets drawn into how he is with her, especially if he's a kind person to her. A lot of times you don't interact with men in a kind nature. So that can be, you know what I'm saying? That can be a little misleading if you don't draw a line right there. That's why she didn't show up. So I'm telling you guys, be as blunt. Women can take it. If you say, hey, I'm just here for a good time, not a long time, you give her the opportunity to be like, okay, you know what? Me too. And then that way she can set up her other things that she want to do too.
I don't think you're quite understanding. I don't think you're getting it. That's one of maybe 10 women. The other 7 was with it. You feel me? Like that's her and her thing.
No, we understand, but we also understand that it's some of that has nothing to do with what you're not saying or what you are saying, and everything to do with what they want out of the situation. So the model,
that's on them. And
no. I'm not. What we're saying is, yes, you don't have any problem with pulling 7 out of 10 women or 9 out of 10 women to come over and do whatever you do. But most of that is not based on you being upfront and honest about it is what it is, and I'm just here for a good time. In the words that,
I've been doing this like I'm doing since I was like 18. You feel me? Like
absolutely, but you're also dating. How old are the women?
But
hey, watch this.
I've had women who maybe 20 to 45. It all depends on that cougar or that young lady or my peers. It doesn't matter. They want to rock with Serge. Cool. This is what it is. I'm okay with being rejected. I'm fine with that.
Hey, so watch this. I'm gonna say this. Watch this. Here's the top. Let me ask you something, Robert. Do you think it's easy? Do you think women make it easy for us to whatever it is that we decide to do, whether we good, bad, and different, when we put our best foot forward? Do you think there's not a lot of resistance when it comes to women?
Well, I can't speak for everyone. It's not really a lot of resistance.
Is it easy for you though? Is it easy for you?
It's easy for me because, like I said, I go into the thing totally different. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking for the friend. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the friend, because one thing about it, no matter what we go after the friendship, if we don't have a friendship, I can't take you with me anyway. You know what I mean? In other words, I like to have fun. I like to go vacation. I'm going in out the country, you know what I mean, often throughout the year. You know what I mean? The thing is, and I go sometime with different women. The thing is, if I can't take you anywhere with me to have fun and kick it, because that's what my life is about. I believe in enjoying your life. I can sit at home when I get 60, you know what I mean? But right now, I'm trying to enjoy life, see other things, see other states, see other countries, things like that. If I cannot take you with me, we don't have anything from the get-go. So my foundation is gonna be on friendship. You know what I mean? It's gonna be on what we can establish as a friend. Can I take you in all these different environments and we have a good time and just rock like that? You know what I mean? If I take you somewhere and every time I turn around, you got your neck poked out, you're rolling your neck, snapping your fingers, and all this right here, you're mad because the females looking at me and they like my style, but I'm not studying them with you. I see the men looking at you and I'm cool with that. I can't deal with jealous women. So if I can't take you somewhere where it's gonna be other nice looking women there and we have a good time and still rock out, listen, we don't have a chance for a relationship. You know what I mean? So with that said, like I just go into things just totally different than some men do. I can't fault someone for going a different way, but that's the way I do it. We got to become friends first before we do anything. You know what I mean? That's just the way I do it. So,
hey Robert, do you have children?
Yes, I have a son.
How old is your son?
6. He'll be 7 in October.
Okay, so my situation, I don't have children. I'm single. I'm going to school. So my mindset is different from Robert's. He's moving differently. You know what I'm saying? Because I can do that. I'm not saying he can't. He's probably had different experiences, more serious long-term relationships. He has a child. I don't. So being a father, that shifts your whole mindset in itself. So I'm going to approach it differently. So I respect what you're saying, Robert. I'm just not at that space right now. I'm not saying I can't. That's just not how I move. So I appreciate it.
Oh,
How old are you,
So
Sergio? I was
Okay,
asking Sergio how old he was.
Oh, I just turned 35 a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I'm gonna go back to the original question. Like that dialogue was great. So we're gonna go back to the question I asked earlier. Sergio, is there like any questions you ever kind of wondered? You got two very
You can't find no adjective for us.
No, I can't find an adjective. I'm gonna say I got a good adjective for you. You have two they have two women that are very direct. So is there anything that you've often wondered? You have two women that pretty much tell you like it is.
I think comes to my mind is about accountability. It's like some women can own their wrongs, or they'll know they're wrong, but then try to flip it. They can flip it so smooth to where now they're not there to victim, no, but they know you're wrong. When you're with your girl, you say, girl, I was wrong. But with the dude, it's like I feel they want, not you, but just I've experienced they want to hold face and not take accountability. So I'm like, at what point do you know that you're lying, but you want to hold face just to be right?
So I think it goes back.
That's probably one of the biggest ones too.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what T. Marie said, which is I do think that there are women who are just capping, honestly, yes. But I do think that there are women who are in the process of whatever they're going through, and they want you just to acknowledge that you played a role in their feelings and that you have some level, whether you're considered prey or predator, some accountability in how things rolled out, right? So I don't think that they're not acknowledging or they can't acknowledge how their roles and their actions played a role. They just want you to act like you were a co-conspirator in the crime. That's all.
Right. Yeah. But the thing about it is, and you know, and the next, I'm sure Robert probably sees it too, but it's like we'll ask y'all a question, right? We'll ask y'all a question, and then it's almost like to get our answer, we gotta like fight to get y'all to get to a point to where y'all like give in. Like I don't think that's right.
If you're having a fight, that means that there's no trust and no comfort there. Because anywhere that there's trust and comfort, then a person can say what they want to say honestly and not feel judged, not feel attacked. You know what I'm saying? So for women, let me just tell you guys this. For women, you have to create an environment of trust, comfort, and no judgment. Because as women as a whole, not everybody, but just as women as a whole, no matter what we're doing, we still need that covering, you know, in whatever capacity that we're dealing with you. Because if we decide to deal with you, we trust you in a way, some type, form, or fashion. Now, as far as the accountability part, some people just not that. Some people just not that. They always a victim. And you're gonna be able to see that from their lifestyle and how they talk about people when they never take accountability for anything. Anytime any of their interactions is always the other person, then that's going to tell you that they don't take accountability. You know what I'm saying? Some people just do not. And it's more people, unfortunately, than people that do, because that means it's pointing out that something is wrong with them. And unfortunately, a lot of times we don't like to say something is wrong with us. We don't like to say it was us. We don't like to say we was wrong. And so to take accountability to say, you know what, we was wrong. We fucked that up. We could have did that differently. A lot of people just don't do that, y'all. They just don't. And to get them to do it, you're going to have to really create a atmosphere of, if you just say it, it's okay. You know what I'm talking about? You really that atmosphere.
Do you think that a lot of relationships have been broken because a woman can't just say, you know what, I messed up, babe, my bad?
No, I think relationships are broken because both parties play a role. Like I told Mark,
but we're not talking about both parties. He specifically asked you about the accountability in women.
No, I do think women play a role in when it comes to accountability and why a relationship doesn't work. However, what we have to understand is relationships require two parties to be invested, involved, and committed to the commitment. So at the end of the day, if I'm hurt, if I say, you know, I feel a certain kind of way, I'm just using you, Sergio, because you're on the call. Because Sergio did X, Y, and Z, and I take it to you, Sergio, and your response is to point all the fingers back at me and not acknowledge that my feelings are valid, then yes, it creates tension, it creates gaps. It doesn't work because me being accountable for how I feel and for my words still requires you to be accountable for your actions and how you show up.
I don't think
and that's what you last
week. So check this out.
That was
Dionna, you're almost going out of that line of what we're talking about. Like we just asked you one specific question about women, and here you go talking about it takes both of us to blah 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 blah. It takes two in the relationship. So I guess I would just yes, men. Okay, listen, men have a hard time having accountability issues. Okay. Some men do.
Are y'all saying that most relationships? I'm asking you guys. Are you guys saying that most relationships end because is that how y'all feel? That most relationships have ended because
I don't think it ends that way. I just think even in marriages, being married before and being in all those things, everything the stars kind of line up. But what happens is in that department, again, it could be the smallest things. We can't get y'all to say, "Okay, baby, my bad." It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
And I think that can be true depending on who you're dating or who you're married to. And again, it goes back to, have you healed yourself? Can you self-reflect? If you can't self-reflect, then yes, you have a hard time acknowledging that you jacked something up.
Yep. And
that's real life. Yes, there are women who have messed up relationships because they lacked accountability. Absolutely, that exists. If that's the question, yes, that exists. But that is not the whole story. And I promise you, if you ask those same women and those same men who claim that their woman's lack of accountability messed up the relationship, if they self-reflect, they will see that their actions also impacted her ability to self-reflect. It's a two-way street. And the whole thing is that what we keep messing up is we trying to put blame on people, each other. And the reality is, I'm a black woman that wants to date a black man, so we got to figure it out.
I'm not getting frustrated, but I can feel it brewing up because I feel like the question that we were talking about was Miss T. Marie. She mentioned, hey guys. There are some women that say, you know what, I could say, you know what, babe, my bad. That's after the conversation that's taking place. So my question was, that man that's, you know, babe, I messed up, blah, 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 I messed up. And she's still not holding accountability after this man that said, look, my bad. And she still wants to hold on to that little bit of face, whatever that thing may be. I said, does that mess up in relationships? That was my question.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. That's it right there. I didn't want to talk what you're talking about. You was trying to like defend. I'm like, that wasn't where I was going.
I answered the question, so, and then I answered the question, and then I said, but we're in a world where we want to date each other. So us pointing blame at each other, me pointing blame at you, you pointing blame at me, doesn't get us on the road to being together. We
It's
have
not
to
a blame.
figure out.
It's not a blame game. You keep bringing blame. We're not even blaming you. He asked me a question. I had a topic about accountability. I wasn't blaming. I asked a question about accountability. Miss T. Marie said, "Hey, we could say my bad. I messed up." It wasn't about a blame game. It's a question of women not being accountable, even though they know they're wrong. That was it.
I wasn't saying you were, Sergio. I wasn't, when I said the blame game, I wasn't talking about you specifically. I was talking about in general in relationships that don't work. Where people, what happens is people get caught up in who was at fault and they stop trying to figure out how to heal to make it work. I wasn't.
You're right.
That's not even, Sergio, that's not even how you have conversation. That's not how you be like, you got it. Like, honestly, if we're here talking to each other, like what you said was valid. What you said, you asked a particular question. But just because Dionna was wanting to add to that and then wants to explain to you why she said that, you got it, is a very indirect way of saying you can stop talking now. I'm not even listening. And those type of actions are the type of actions that create tension where we don't even have to have it. Because if I was doing that to you and like, you got it, don't worry about it, that's disrespectful. I would never do that to you because I would never want you to feel like what you're saying is not valid. It's not, even if I don't agree. That's just.
What would the proper response?
The proper response is let her finish what she's saying and be like, okay, I understand. And that be it. But for her to keep talking and he's saying you got it and definitely showing that he's uninterested in what she's saying, that's disrespectful. I would never do that to you. I would never do that to any of you because I respect what you're saying, whether I agree with it or not.
Right.
If we're talking, trying to create something here, dialogue, then cutting each other off or just acting like what we're saying is null and void. That's not how we do that.
I think in our defense, like you have a point, but I can also say on the other end, I think as men, after we again like try to direct and try to get answers to some of the things that we want, I guess what we do sometimes is we use that as a way to say, you know what, I'm not getting nowhere, so let me just dead it. You know, just
dead it. But don't make somebody feel what they're saying is irrelevant. You wouldn't want me to do that to you.
But I think it also comes from like, are you here to just be right or are you here to learn? Because unless you're dating men, what another man feels about how you're dating and how you're moving, like I'm not here to please a woman in the dating world. When I'm dating, I'm trying to do the things that are necessary so I can understand my male mate. So if you're dating women, then you have to understand that they don't even communicate in direct, oh, it's yes, no, da-da-da. That's not how women talk. Women talk and they give examples, they give situations, because we also understand that it takes, everybody has a different learning ability. Like some people learn from direct answers. Some people need examples. And so to not waste the conversation in the moment, they give all of that so that you can't say you didn't understand.
Okay,
and I'm sorry. And we know sometimes now what we do know, we can be wordy and they stop listening after a minute. Absolutely. So we have to also take it to accountability that they didn't need to hear all that. And that can be frustrating because for both of us, we have to learn how to each other communicate because I'm a super wordy person, but I can see when words are getting frustrated and not coming across. So I know be like, okay, let me turn this because I'm not being heard. And the whole thing is for us to hear and be heard.
Yeah. Going back to the whole thing about the details, I'm sure you've heard this saying the devil's in the detail. But guess what, ladies? We don't care about the devil.
Yeah, right. And you don't care about the damn detail.
Y'all want to give us the devil, and we just want the answer. So a lot of times we feel that way. It's just like we can say, "All right, baby, let's go out to eat to Ruth Chris, right? Mm-hmm. Do you want to go to Ruth Chris?" Y'all say, "Well, I went to Ruth Chris last week, and I heard the service ain't that good." And I'll be like, okay, do you want to go to Ruth Chris or not? Just give us the answer, right? I think that
it's true. I'm guilty. I am super guilty of that.
And not in defense, but just saying sometimes, we get to a point where it's like, you know what? We ain't gonna get what we asked for. We just want to answer. But let me do something right quick. In your opinion, Robert, let me ask you a question real quick. And I know this may not be you, but you have an opinion on it. Why do men cheat? You think, Robert? Why do men cheat?
Here we go.
Right. I'm just asking.
I'm gonna start off with water first.
No, Robert, why do men cheat?
Oh, that's how you feel it, T.
I'm listening to you, Robert.
Well, I just in a short answer, men are created to replenish and populate the earth. You know what I mean? We are created to we created different than women. So that's why our sexual intercourses in nature's normally is not going to be emotional. Most likely going to be just physical. So, in other words, God created us to multiply the earth. You know what I'm saying? Why did you laugh?
Okay, so watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna go over here. Sergio, why do you think men cheat?
Miss Dionna, I want to say I apologize first. My accountability for make you feel a certain way. And reflection on that. I could have been dismissive. And I do apologize. That's not that's not my character. So I want to say if I made you feel a certain way, I apologize. That's not gonna happen again. I feel like I was
some panties right there.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I'm not saying like I heard everything you said, and it's valid. I think.
Okay, hey Sergio.
What's up?
Boy, you'll make a good politician, man. Let's stick to the question real quick.
I just want to apologize.
Why do men cheat?
Oh, I don't cheat, so I really don't know.
In your opinion, you know the fellas.
Maybe they're just not being respected or being supported for their vision. Maybe sometimes some women can make a man feel like he's devalued, like he don't mean shit, and so he may get that energy from another woman that makes him feel like, okay, I like that. So, but sometimes we do it out of sex. Like you can put feelings into it, yeah. But agreeing with Robert, we're built to populate. That's why women only have a certain amount of eggs. We have sperm all the time. We're built to do that, and it's on our nature. You have to be you have to be not conditioned. You have to be trained, or have to put effort into being with someone. And you respect that woman, you're gonna build that. And that's why divorces happen, having those conversations. That man still wants to go do what he wants to go do. And I think women know that as well. That's why you have polys, you feel me, in different religions and cultures, they say, okay, do your thing. I think in America, in a Eurocentric space, we want to keep it tight-knit, but I don't think we're built like that. So I don't know.
Okay. So Dionna, why do women stick around with men that cheat? There's a lot of women for a while. I'm just saying and we hear the cases. A lot of times what happens is you have a friend or a girlfriend, or you've heard stories where that you guys look at your friends like, why are you with this guy? Like, why are you still here? In your opinion, why do women tend to kind of want to just stick around for it?
I think a lot of women stick around because they don't feel like re-entering the dating pool. I feel like I just feel like it's easier sometimes to stay with the devil that you know than it is to go out there and find a new devil. I feel like there are women who are married who are like, nah, we built this whole family together. House, cars, income. I'm not letting you go for another woman to reap the benefits of what I sold into you and what we sold into each other. And then there's always low self-esteem. I mean, it's a million reasons why women stay. But a lot of times it just is because I feel like it's easier, just like it's cheaper to keep us, it's easier to keep him.
What about you, Tim? What's your opinion on that?
I just think it's because we're just loyal in that space. It's not, once we've connected with you, we're not just gonna throw you away. We love you, so we're definitely open to giving you another opportunity and hoping that you improve. Just because you made that mistake doesn't mean that we're just willing to throw you away. Unfortunately, we're just not. And if we've built something with you, that's definitely another reason that we're not gonna do it. Just being totally transparent, in my first marriage, my husband cheated, right? And we didn't get a divorce based off of that. That wasn't our divorce. We had that conversation. We went to counseling, and you know, we still worked through it. Our thing was we just weren't compatible and weren't going to work. You know, we just weren't going to work. At that point, because I was married, it wasn't a deal breaker. Where I am now is definitely a deal breaker. So it's just going to depend where you are in life, what you've invested into that situation, and what you were willing to tolerate at that time. But you know, then it just, you know, I needed to work it out. It was my marriage. You know what I'm saying? It's totally different. It was my marriage. I had committed to that situation, and hopefully we could rebuild that trust. But where I am now, it's not acceptable. So a lot of times it has to do with where you are in life, what you're willing to put up with at that point in life. And women are getting exhausted with, and you're seeing now women are starting just to not be in relationships at all versus going into relationships and hoping to not get their heart broken or some other stuff happen. So it's a loyalty thing, and we're connected. Don't forget, after intimacy, after sex, we're connected to you guys. You guys are really part of us at that point, and nobody really wants to just throw that away.
Right. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I asked that question. I was really trying to see. That was one of those questions where I was really trying to see the accountability factor. One of the common things I did see that everybody do on this particular exercise really stick to the actual gender rather than blaming the gender. So I just really threw it out to see what y'all was gonna say, really, to be honest with you. I think that was the first time I probably heard a direct answer on why women stay without having to go, you know.
Hello. Well, my question is, hello. So Dionna,
yeah, Robert, go ahead. I'll ask you that. What kind of question do you have for the ladies, Robert?
Oh no, so this question right here, in particularly for Dionna, is a response on a question concerning what she said. First thing she said was sometimes just like I guess it's easier to stick to this devil than go get another devil. Why do he got to be devils though? You know what I mean?
I was gonna let that one slide.
It wasn't the devil. It wasn't like
Right.
they say like stay. It's a saying, stay with the devil that you know.
That you know, right? Not
It had
calling you an
nothing to
actual
do with
devil.
you being a
Yeah.
devil, but it's an old saying to say you stick with the devil that you know.
That you know, right?
No, I know you want to talk about me because I'm like Sergio. I can't cheat if I'm not in a relationship.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I'm
that's
saying?
my point is, my question is, why do men cheat instead of just saying they don't want to be in a relationship anymore?
Right.
Well, you know what? And I don't really think, I'm glad you said it, because I don't really feel like men cheat because they don't want to be in a relationship anymore. Because they like we can literally love our woman, our girlfriend to death, don't want no one else, but still step outside the household because it's only physical to us. It's nothing but physical. It's just like picking a glass up. Like, it don't mean anything once I put the glass back down. You know what I mean? That's literally how it is. But I understand with a woman, when you have sex, it's an emotional thing. You know what I mean? So I can have sex with a woman today and not even remember who she is a year from now. You know what I mean? But women are not like that. So it's not that a man don't want to be in a relationship and that he cheated, so why just leave the relationship? Hell no, I love my wife. I love my girlfriend. We, like you said, you got so much tied into it. You're not going to leave her, to go get a side piece. You know what I mean? When you can do a side piece and not even think about it later on.
So why the side piece? What is it? Is it something that is it just something to
when
do?
I say side piece,
no, I mean, why even go? Is it just something to do? Like, is it for is it just something to do?
See, the thing is that's the thing. That's why I was saying men are created to have more than one woman. You know what I mean? So therefore, it's not, why a side piece? You know what I mean? It's not that. You know what I mean? Because if that's the case, then you're single-handedly saying this man is with this woman, so he gonna go get a side piece. No, it's not like that. We're created to have more than one woman. We are created to populate the earth. So therefore, it's easier, even no matter how much we love our wife, it's just so much easier to look at something else and say, you know what? I wouldn't mind doing it because it's not going to mean anything. It doesn't negate the fact that he loved his wife or he got so much invested in her, because men are built different than women. So therefore, you're not going to understand what I mean by having sex with someone and not really care, or having sex with someone and not have any feelings besides the intimate feeling at that time. But it's not even emotional. You know what I mean? So with that said, that's why it's easy for us to I'm gonna give you an example. This is crazy because I don't believe in paying for, you know what I mean, sex stuff. You know what I mean? But I do have friends, they would pay for sex because there is no emotional attachment there. You know what I mean? They only pay for it because he's only getting what he's looking for. That is, you know what I'm saying, the orgasm, the nut, or whatever. You know what I mean? There is no physical attachment. So when you meet a woman and you court her and take her out and dine her and all this stuff right here, when you kind of already know that, you know, I kind of want sex, then at that point, now you making her, you're letting her invest in you, which eventually gonna end her. You know, gonna make her feel bad. You know, so what a friend of mine do, he'll just rather pay for it because it's only physical. You know what I mean? So the reason I said men don't just say, oh, you know what, I feel like I'm gonna wake up and cheat today on my wife. They ain't how they go. You know what I mean? It's more like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? And he feel like he can get away with it, but he don't want to lose the home. You know what I mean? So he'll just sneak off and try to do his thing or whatever, but it don't mean that he don't love her any less. You know what I mean?
He just wake up and decide he want to populate the earth, huh?
So
populate that.
Hey, so ladies, let me ask you a question. Is it
the earth today?
Hey, this the question. This is what I always want to know. I always want to know, like, when you hear men say sex doesn't really hold that much weight with us, do y'all believe that, or how do y'all feel about that statement? Tina, how do you feel about that statement?
Come to me first.
Always.
Well, I think insert if they don't feel nothing for the person. I agree. I think that it's easy for them to just hit it and be gone. But I do think now when a man feels something for a woman, it ain't just that easy. Because when men finally connect with the woman, it ain't just a physical. There's something they else that have taken on with their woman. So if it's just somebody that they're uninterested in or whatever, yeah, it's no big thing. They really can. But they can't just walk away from a woman that they've been with for a while and, you know, and just be like, it's whatever. Sex, yeah. They can't just walk away from that.
So what about the case of men?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a man. It's just my opinion as a woman.
Right. I
totally agree, because when it comes down to that, I totally agree, because when it comes down to that, that's the point I'm trying to make. You know what I mean? A man can go out and step outside his marriage, but he's not trying to leave his wife. You know what I mean? You know, it just happens like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to, he's not trying to lose his house, his livelihood, because he stepped out, because that meant nothing. You know what I mean? So that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, then you have men that are single. So we're gonna be honest and say, listen, I'm just trying to kick it, have fun, you know, go out, we do something cool. We don't, that's cool too. You know, I'm just trying to have some fun. You know what I mean? So when it's like that, you know, all balls are played in the field. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, so I'm basically I'm agreeing with you, because all men don't mean they all just wake up and say, I want to populate the earth. Most men don't even understand who they are, because the thing is, in the United States, we are conditioned under the law that the majority or the rulers of the United States want us to be majority, or want us to be molded into. You know what I mean? So, you know, and that's a whole nother story. You know, that's a whole nother topic.
So Dionna, Dionna, what are your thoughts on that, as far as like when you hear a man say, well, yeah, I cheated with her, but I don't really like her. Like, do you believe, like, you know, a lot of men say that. Do you believe? Yes. Do some men get connected? Yes. But for the most part, do you believe most men don't?
Yeah, I do believe most men don't.
Okay.
I think when they cheat, I don't feel like it's because they're like, oh, I'm so connected with her. I do feel like they're thinking with their lower chakra. But I guess my question back to you guys is, do you weigh
Hold on, Dionna. I didn't ask you what your question was for you guys. I need you to say. I know, because it's gonna start getting out of control. You gonna give me a minute. Give me a minute, because I want to kind of
stay on focus.
This point out.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to close this point out, and the reason why I close this point out, because, you know, I just want to, you know, I know sometimes it's kind of hard for women and men to understand, like, why we do certain things, and sometimes we don't understand it. And I'm not saying you're supposed to accept that, but what I can say is that when we give you instructions on how we operate, men and women, we shouldn't pick and choose on what we're going to believe and what we don't believe, right? especially when we try to give you the answers to what it is that you want. You know, if you ask us a question, I'm not saying all men going to be honest, but even a lie can be direct, right? We're gonna give you a direct lie or direct truth, right? We're not gonna. We try not to leave any confusion. We may not be all the way honest, but and for the most cases, we're gonna give you the answers. Just please believe us when we tell you when we say this. Yes, some men can get connected, but for the most part, and I'm not saying it's right, but once we step, and when that guy says, well, "I ain't really like her like that," believe me, he probably really didn't.
Right.
I think that's the we trying to drive that point home. So, Dionna, your question that you've been, because I was gonna come to you next anyway. What kind of questions do you have for either one of the gentlemen that's anything you may want to know that you kind of wondered about?
Okay, so Robert, you just said you all can step out and it doesn't mean anything. So when you all do that, do you weigh the consequences of what may happen in the committed relationship that you're in?
No. I'm gonna say no because a man is not normally saying like, damn, she trying to give me a shot real quick. Damn, if I fuck her, I'm gonna know what I'm saying, mess up the household. Dudes ain't really thinking like that, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I'm married right now. I ain't leave my cool, man. You come on in, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? And cause it's gonna be, hey, keep on going now, you know what I mean? Because I put it up front. I'm in a relationship, I'm married, or whatever the case may be. And listen, most marriages where men cheat, most times the woman that they cheat with knows they are married. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, then only way they know that if they see the evidence or he told her, right? So therefore, she's doing it to get what she wants. Maybe she got, intentions on making him leave his wife, whatever the case may be. But the man 9 times 10 is not doing it to be with her. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be like that. You know what I mean? So do he weigh the consequences? Most times, no. You know what I mean?
Hey,
because
Sergio, what you think about that, Sergio? Do men usually outweigh, or look at the repercussions behind cheating, or do we think about it, or do we just instinctively do it?
I don't think men weigh the pros and cons. There's a lot of men who take advantage of women because, she's gonna be there because of the loyalty that you guys mentioned earlier. So when he does leave or step out and it falls apart, he's like, damn, she was so dope. Why? Now he's reflecting after the fact. So I don't think they think about it at the moment. I mean, we're visual dudes. We're just what it is. When you have a beautiful woman and 10 dudes, they're going to look at you. They're straight. They're going to want you. You know that for a fact. You're beautiful. Women like other women because of their beauty. So of course, men like women because of their beauty. It's just fascinating. God made an amazing masterpiece. It just looks amazing. So we're going to want to do it. And the thing about it, my grandma's beautiful. My grandpa's amazing. She knows that he may look at a woman, but the respect factor is how does he go about it and does he do something about it? No, they've been married for 50 years, so they know what's up. They've been through the ups and downs. I think a grown woman knows that a man's natural inclination is to look. And if he probably, well, I'm not going to look, she know he want to look. You know what I'm saying? It's about respect factor. So we can't turn that off. I used to get frustrated with myself and be like, damn, Serge, why you always look at these chicks, bro? Like, I just want to stay focused. But they're beautiful. I go to college, nothing but females. The ratio's like 1 to 6 to 1. It's just what it is. It's like, do I want to holler at everyone? I probably do. The effort, I don't. I focus on what I need. You feel me? It's enticing, man. Women know their power, their essence, their feminine flow. Come on now.
Right. So here's the question. I'm gonna start with you, Sergio, since you just finished up and we'll go around. And I'm gonna ask everybody's opinion. I asked Dionna this one before. I don't even think she gave me a straight answer. But it is the time for her to get a straight answer. Okay. I look back at some of the videos and stuff like that. Our last conversation, I asked you a question. I don't even know if I even got the answer. So maybe you can give it to me today. I'm gonna start with Sergio, right? And in the dating stage, just dating, getting to know a person, the things, whatever it is you do to try to get to know a person, who do you think has the advantage when it comes to dating?
The advantage,
the male or the female?
I think the woman does, because she knows all the game anyway. She probably got hollered at 10 times. So she's sitting back and playing her cards, and she's waiting to see what kind of dude his game is, how he look, how he smell. Like, she already knows. She's already been warmed up for conversation. So the dude, he got to come correct, got to make her feel good, got to talk, got to spit. Like, it's in her favor. And women hate rejection. So she, it's in her favor, man. It's always in a woman's favor because they're vulnerable. Women have to be cautious. They got to sit back and play their cards. You know what I'm saying? So it's in their favor.
All right. Okay, Dionna, who do you think has the advantage when it comes to dating?
I still feel like men have the advantage.
Okay, why?
I feel like men have the advantage because they have the most options, and I feel like they control at least the first few dates, where we go, what we do, the initial when it happens. They're in traditional senses, they're the ones that are making the moves first.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. It's because we got a lot of options. That don't mean they're good options. That doesn't mean anything. That's just more stuff we got to deal with. Oh, there's just more stuff we got to deal with. It's just more stuff we got to deal with. Right?
Mark, that wasn't a question. You asked me.
Right.
You just said you don't like my answer.
No. You gave me your answer, but I wanted to answer something you said that I felt. You know, here's the thing. The reason
it's okay
why
when they do it, but when we
no. Time out. Okay, I want to get clarification. What did I do?
No, because I said you asked me the question, and I gave you an answer, and you really didn't like my answer. So you tried to tell me, explain to me how you all don't have, just because you have options don't mean they're good options. But let's be clear, we pull them from the same pool. It's the same dirty water.
So I want to clarify something. I never did say that I didn't like your answer. Right. You interpreted it as me liking your answer because I questioned or I addressed something you said within your answer. And the only thing I addressed was the fact that when I hear women say, well, you guys got more options, I just want to just kind of put a pin in that and say, all this because we have a lot of options doesn't mean they're good options. That means we got more BS to deal with. That's not an advantage.
And so with that
that's actually a disadvantage because our money flying out of our pocket.
With that pin, when you think you have more options and it's not an advantage, let me explain to you why it is an advantage. Okay, if it's 110 people in a room, 10 of them are men and 100 of them are women. Because the average ratio of men to women, we talking about black people, are 10-1 in Atlanta, in DC, Chicago, right? So that means as a man, these 10 men, they get to pick between 100 women. These 100 women are fighting over 10 men. That means on average, every man gets at least, even if he shoots 10-1, he gets 10 dates. So even if you're picking poorly, that's a you thing. But the 100 women are in the room for you to pick whoever you want to pick. When I'm picking between, no offense to any of these people, the guy that has multiple children, the guy that has a divorce, the guy that's been to jail, the guy that's educated and smart and knows that he's educated and smart and an asset and can choose whoever he wants. Then we got the one that might be bi, because he's dealing with men and women. Then we got the one that dates only white women. Like, it's all of these things that we're dealing with and all these things that are caveating why this person, I'm seeing it's pink flags. And I just am trying to choose who doesn't have the darkest pink flag. And
I'll just say this. I'll just say this. Out of 100 women, to your point, honestly, out of that 100, only 18 worth really even dealing with. It's not about picking the wrong one. It's just sorting through the ones that are not ready to be picked. So, I mean, I hear you, but it's work.
It's work on both sides, though.
Go ahead.
So, let's say you choose those 10. That's 10 different dates he has to pay for. You feel me? So,
Exactly. Which is a disadvantage.
So like straight up, let's say it's 10 females, right? And I like 5 of them, and it's $100 a date. That's $500 that 1 week that came out of my pocket, and I only like 2 of them after I get to know them. They got a free date. So it's like that's the effort a man has to put forth. So I see your side, Miss Dionna, but the man has to do the work. Like simple as that. You know what I'm saying?
So Sergio, I'm about to hook you up with some free dating advice. Don't spend the coins, spend the energy. And what I say by that is a woman that is mature wants a thoughtful date. She's not waiting on you to spend the most coins on the date. She would take a walk in Piedmont Park around the pond. It was free festivals and all these things. It's jazz in the parks in most major cities. Take her to a jazz in the park, have a bottle of wine and some cheese and charcuterie, and you just spend $20. And she's gonna be like, girl, T. Marie, girl, Sergio took me out.
So out of those 10, I'll probably do that with 3, and the 7, I'm saying, hey, come to Casa de la Sergio, I'll make you a meal, get some wine. You know what I mean? That's the free. That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody at work, everybody's not working. I'm not mad at you taking them to steak dinner and massages. It's
right.
Right. Hey, so T. Marie, who do you think has the advantage when it comes to dating?
I think women do. I feel like I have always had the advantage when it comes to dating. I think women have the advantage because we actually get to choose. You all are choose between all of us, but we actually get to sit back and like wait for you for the good one to come. You know what I'm saying? I think we have the advantage. I don't feel like I have to do all the work and the research and trying to get to y'all. I don't have to do all of that. You come to me. You know what I'm saying? You see me, you come and pursue me, you spot me somewhere, be like, damn, what happened? And then we start that conversation from there. I'm not out searching and I'm not out having to feel like that I gotta hurry up and grab, you know what I'm saying? So I really think women have the advantage. We just need to learn how to use it. See, we don't think we do, but we really do. We got it.
It's cultural. Like I think it's location plays a role in it. Like,
girl, I've been in Atlanta forever. This place here is sick.
Yeah, but DC is different. DC men don't consider themselves Southern. So there's certain things that you can get in a Southern man. Like when I was in school in North Carolina, the men were different than a city guy, a DC guy, or a New York guy, or a Philly guy. Like their approach is different. What they expect out of the women is different. And I do think that is true when like my friends down south are always like, oh yeah, the men just come up to us. I don't really see that often in DC. And a lot of times the women are more the go-getter. A lot of them are walking up to the man and asking for the number. And I've had men really tell me, which is how this came up with me and Mark earlier, is men have said, I'm used to women paying for the first date. Who? Exactly, T. Marie.
Hey, I already told y'all how I feel about that. Even though y'all can shake your head all y'all want. And I'm not saying you should pay for it, but I'm telling you, the moment you pay for it, you're taking some of the power away when you do that. Meaning that when a guy takes out his pocket, his money at that time, he gonna want to expect something.
I don't give a damn what he expects. He ain't getting it. He can expect all day. I don't care. He can expect all day.
I understand that, but what I'm saying to you is that I'm not advocating because some.
You gonna pay for that date, and we gonna go on and do what we gonna do.
And that's what I do. I still do it, but I still say this: understand that the moment that you come out your pocket, that you take a piece of the power back by stating that, one, I don't need you, right? And then 2, 9 times out of 10, if I keep my pocket, don't even think about even asking about it. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna say that regardless. 1, I don't need you, okay? And I'm keeping my money in my pocket. And 2, you still ain't nothing. But here's the part. And I like Dionna, I agree. You know, Mark, I teach this. I don't believe men should go on first dates and require a whole lot.
Right.
Because if you're just trying to get to know the woman, a woman who's just trying to get to know you too, is just going to appreciate the fact that you wanted to be in her presence and that you guys are getting to know each other. If it's anything beyond that, she said any expectations, $100, $200, she ain't looking for you particularly. She's looking to see what you can do for her.
But look, check this out. Okay, so watch this. And I thought about this, and we're talking about the dating stage. We ain't talking about nobody we know. We just talking about y'all lining them up, right? And this is why, and this is why I'm saying this. The thing about that is that, damn, I lost my train of thought for real. And it was, and I guess it was more so on that. But anyway, Robert, I come back to it. Robert, who has the advantage when it comes to dating?
Man, you know what? I'm so glad you finally made it to me. No, women do have the advantage because most times the man is trying to impress the woman. You know what I'm saying? Most times he putting his best foot forward. Sometimes she don't have to even give any effort. You know what I mean? Because the man is trying to come take her out, pick her up, where you like to go, what you like to do. They're putting their best foot forward. So women do have the advantage because women normally don't have to do anything at those times. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. So look, check this out. Check this out, Tim Reed, and going back to what you just said earlier, because it just came to me. Here's the thing, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times while we're dating, understand that we're naturally competitive. We know if we just dating, we're gonna automatically think you're dating someone else, right?
Yep.
So the guy that does the part is gonna be down against the guy that takes you to the extravagant restaurants, right? So I hear you when you say, hold on. I hear you when you say that, but understand this is a competition. So guess what? If I take her to the park and then another dude take her to an extravagant vacation, guess what? Who you think gonna win? So guess what? Because of the competition, we're gonna put our best foot forward. So the part ain't gonna count.
Can I respond to that? Honestly, it doesn't matter how much you spend. I'm going to be honest with you now. I'm a woman. Deonna's a woman. Listen to me.
I understand that.
Listen to me. It's going to be how you stimulate her and the things that she finds interesting about you and the compatibility. This girl will go out on a trip and spend all your coin, right? And will come back and not talk to you when she get back. You understand what I'm saying? And you did everything that you spent that $500, $700, what it cost to do that. And whoever Robert only spent $40 and we went on the park, got ice cream or whatever. And I was more intrigued with that trip because I was more interested in him. He had more conversation. We had more in common. So understand, the competition isn't in the money grab. It's only with hoes that, or maybe I shouldn't say that, but the competition isn't in the money grab. The competition is in who you are and what you're bringing, character-wise and compatibility-wise. And we talk about grown woman here, that's what it is. So don't think that it's the money. It's really, really not. If a woman only see what you can spend on her, and that's the competition, that's how it's going to be for the rest of y'all dating situation.
Well, they
when
might
your money
not.
run out, then it's going to be a whole nother.
They may not determine it all the way based upon money. I guess, and I say I guess because I don't know, but I can definitely say that in our mind, the only leverage that we do have is to make you have a good time, though.
Your leverage is not that. But we're telling you as women, that's not the leverage.
That's not the leverage.
That's not the leverage.
It's the follow-up. Even like Sergio talked about it earlier when he said that the woman didn't come through because you didn't communicate with her throughout the week as she expected. So by the time Friday came, she was a dud, right? But I'm just telling you, like, real talk, had you on Tuesday, not no good morning, like, please don't good morning, baby, these women to death. I did not tell them to do that, y'all. I'm saying, like really engage, like reach out. How is your day doing? I'm real busy today, but I just wanted to reach out, send a text, say you was on my mind. That's the type of stuff that gets the women. It's not the dinner. It's not how extravagant the date is. We are, as you all keep saying, y'all feel like we're emotional and spiritual beings. So that means you need to connect on an emotional, spiritual level, not on how much your pockets can spend.
Because a woman who wants you for your pockets, she don't really want you. She wants your pockets.
Well, yeah, I know, but like you say, money.
You gonna see?
Money
We
is
trying to
money
tell
is
you,
money
Mark.
when it comes to men. No. I'm not saying you.
Someone said they wouldn't date someone that that didn't make a certain amount of money though. You know what I mean? So
right, that money does
like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in a sense, it plays a part, and somewhere down the line, it plays a part.
Money plays a part somewhere down the line, but like you and I talk, to me, money plays a part in how you manage your money. Like you can really, there are really people out here who are making millions and going to foreclosure on their house.
But y'all don't know that. Y'all don't know that until y'all lay up in the hotel room and you look.
No, you know that you see signs of it early. Like, you know, I'm a car snob, so I like certain cars, and I always laugh because I'll be like, you riding up and
you typically find out after you already gave
apartment. That's a bad money management. Say it again.
You find out after you typically don't find out till after you gave none anyway. So I mean, it's too.
No,
what do you say?
I don't know what they do.
Right. Yeah, you know.
I know what I do.
I'm gonna lead that too.
I know what I do, and I'm a mental person. Like I have to be attracted to you mentally to even be able to willing to go on a date with you.
Right, absolutely. So Robert, I'm gonna come back over to you real quick. Like, if you had a magic wand when it comes to like dating, like what would be the number one thing that you would change about the whole? Like, what would you change about it? Like you say, I noticed this is an issue when it comes to men and women and dating, and what would that be?
Man, to be honest with you, I think I want to pass the question because I don't really have an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, I personally don't have an issue with it.
But you can't. But you may not have one, but I guess these conversations are more so as far as what you observe. But if you don't see anything that's kind of like keeping us from like moving forward, then I mean, you're very optimistic guy.
But, the thing is, because how we're speaking about it, what the women were saying, it doesn't matter how much you spend and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's about the connection that you have with that person that you dating, or you went on a date with, or you conversating with. And personally, I don't never really spend a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? Just but I always have a good time with the people I date. You know what I mean? Because the energy I bring, I'm always joking. I'm always trying to laugh. I'm always, we having educated conversations and just the security they get with me, as well as all the other additions that come with me. I don't have to spend a whole lot. So the point I'm trying to make is I can't really say what my magic wand would tap for somebody else, because I'm not normally in the position other men are in. You know what I mean? Because I don't I don't do all the old stuff that make a man try so hard. You know what I mean? I just be me, and that's the only thing I can be. I try not to, overextend who I am, because then later on it's gonna be hard work. You know what I mean? If you're not being true to who you are naturally, then it's gonna be hard work later on. Try to continue to impress, opposed to being yourself. You know what I mean? So the only reason I'm passing the question because I can't really relate to it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
So Sergio, let me ask you a question. What is it like as far as like even though you may not experience these things or you may do, like what's the vibe you're getting as far as like you said, okay, this is the problem, and like what is that issue that you're seeing in the scene right now that you could change?
We got to bring it back to the 90s, man. Like, just, man, 90s love, 90s flow, 90s songs, 90s everything. I feel like social media really messed a lot of stuff up, because we don't trust each other. We just know that they have songs about having a side nigga, a side chick, like, get so praised. So I just feel like if I can have a magic wand, I'll say that we can just, I guess, humble ourselves and really be honest with where you are and have that conversation. I think people are afraid to be real because they're afraid to lose. And I'm not afraid to lose. That's why I'm not afraid to be real. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if both parties were like that, then we can get all the stuff out the way. To be honest, to be humble.
What about you, Dion?
I wish we just had open and honest communication with each other. Like first date, everybody just lay the cards on the table. Like maybe, like I mean, you know, in the ideal world, your nose grew if you was lying. Like
Okay. Ooh.
no real status.
Right. T. Marie.
I wish we could hear without being offended. I wish I could have a conversation with somebody and them not be offended by what I'm saying, but actually hear what I'm saying. And I'm sure they wish they could have a conversation with me and not get offended, but hear what they're trying to say, that we can understand each other better and have better communication and better understanding, because that's what it's going to take. So if we could learn how to hear, if I could take the one and we could hear without being offended, or hear without being sensitive, or hear without being a hit dog, you know, then we actually could communicate what we need better to each other, and then we would know what to do for each other to get, you know, that connection. Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna come back to you to real ask you something. So fill in the blank. Men just don't get blank when it comes to us. Men just don't get.
I'm just playing.
Damn.
I think men just don't get that we can take honesty. We can take honesty. You can tell us the truth. If you don't want us, that's okay. We're not gonna fall out. If you don't like me, if you don't like, that is okay. Like if you're done with whatever it is, tell us the truth. You know, I think it's just the way there needs to be a way that you say anything, but we can take honesty. I think y'all think we can't take nothing. And so you'd be like, you know what? I ain't gonna tell the truth. I'm just gonna bow out. But we're really built to take the truth, honestly. So I just think y'all don't understand that we can take the truth.
All right, Robert. Women just don't get blank when it comes to. They just don't get it. What is it? What's the blank?
Hey, so first I wanted to just, you know, touch base on what T. Marie just said, right? And we give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like we give it to you. You know, the reason I say that is because what a man most time presents is what he feels at that time. You know what I mean? So today it might be, oh baby, I love you, I want to take you out, I want to do this. Tomorrow it may be, listen, I'm gonna holler at you later on. You know what I mean?
But say that. Like say that. That's okay to say.
So man gonna give you that, you know what I'm saying? That honesty that you're looking for. However, you're just not gonna receive it in the best way at times. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what that is. But to answer your question, go back to your question again. What you say your question was?
I said women just don't get blank when it comes to men. They just don't get blank. What's that blank? What's that word? They don't get it.
Women don't get the way men operate and move in our genetic makeup. You know what I mean? Because the thing is so easy to say, oh, we're equal. You know what I mean? You make $120,000, I'll make $120,000. That don't make us equal. You know what I mean? Because when it boils down to it, you're gonna have a lot of more, you know what I'm saying, emotional ties to everything that you deal with than I will. You know what I mean? So we're not equal. We just make the same amount of money. You know what I mean? Or we got the same size house. You know what I mean? But we're not equal. You know what I mean? So at some point, once you realize that, and you accept the fact that the men are different than who you are, you know what I mean? Then I feel like you'll begin to accept how men really is. Mm-hmm. So that's why they don't get the way you really are.
Men and women aren't.
We're not.
We understand. We believe. I think a lot of men understand why. You know that we're not equal, and we can live with it, right? But the coalition of internet women don't get it.
Internet women.
They always say, they think it's like men can do it, and so we should be able to do it. No, because you have more to lose than we do, right? And what I mean by that is that when I'm gonna use sex for an example, right? Using sex, you can do it. If you can do it, you can do what we do. But the difference is you're not gonna be able to sustain it as long as we can do it, right? We can pretty much do it over a longer length of time as far as having sex. But at a certain point, either one or two things are gonna happen if you continue to do it. you're gonna create a whole bunch of emotional ties. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just so much more to lose. So when I hear people say it, but specifically more so women say, well, men can't do it, why we can't do it? Because some things just not gonna fit. And vice versa for us. Some things just not gonna fit for us either.
That's right.
That's just what it is.
Hey, Mark.
Go ahead.
So, I gave this example a while ago to this one chick I was talking to. She was like, to your point, I can have sex too. I said it don't work like that. I said, look, let's say you're pudding, right? You're pudding. There's these 10 spoons. You want to have all these 10 spoons going into your pudding versus my one spoon is 10 different puddings. I'm going to do it. It's just different. She was like, I can do that. I said, no, your pudding's going to be like all bad, bro. Like we talking about. She could not accept it. And I'm like, bro, you're joking right now. So if I'm a female, I don't want 10 spoons. I'm not built like that. I'm built for one solid spoon. That's for me. If I'm a spoon, I'm built to go scoop. That's what it is.
I'm gonna have to get on with you with that one, Sergio.
I mean, but like not saying I want to scoop all these puddings, but I'm built like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we can always put our spoon in the dishwasher, wash it off, bring it right back out and use it again. That pudding it's gonna either be on the shelf for a while. Eventually it's gonna spoil if you keep dipping in it. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
So Sergio, tell me, women don't get blank when it comes to men. What's the blank? What's the blank?
The simplicity of dudes. Like we're very basic. Like we're super basic. You respect us. Respect is a foundation. You respect us. You're kind. And you support our vision. That's really cool. Like we don't need nothing much. You may need a lot as a woman, all these options, all this stuff to kind of maintain. We're super simple. I think women understood that. That'd be cool. The other thing also that we're not disposable. I feel like a lot of men, there's a lot of simps in the world to where women are fed with a lot of attention to where to just dismiss a dude. Women can do it too, yes. But we're not disposable. We have feelings too, you feel me? So we got to eat that. But simplicity and we're not disposable. Good men aren't disposable.
Right. All right, Dionna, fill in the blank. Men just don't get blank when it comes to women.
That our mind is the way to our heart.
Okay.
That, like just simple thing like how we just talked about what you have to do on a date. And a lot of times I feel like men date to prove their manhood, or they date trying to show us something that would be like, to beat on their chest. But it's not really about us. It's about them doing that for their ego, to say that this is what they did. When most women don't require those things to get to our heart. If you show up with intent, if you love us mentally, create safe spaces for us, you'll have a woman that's loyal for almost forever.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I definitely did agree with you on that. To that particular point. What she said, somebody said something. I'm sorry. Okay, I thought I'm hearing shit because I'm high. All right. So look. Dionna, I was gonna actually go back to you too as well. What is it that no, I got one for you. This is the one when I want full responsibility for each gender. What is it that you think that your sisters are bringing to the table that's causing the problem in dating? This your own opinion.
You say that's causing a problem in dating?
Yeah. What are women bringing to the table that's actually causing us, in your opinion, for your sisters? What do you see that's an issue that they're bringing to the table? Like
trauma. I feel like they're bringing their trauma to each new situation instead of evaluating that situation for what it is. Right. So something you could do, because they may not know they're not healed. I don't know what it is. And I also feel like there can be triggers when you are healed from trauma, but they bring that trauma and it creates a cloud over their dating pool. It creates a cloud in relationships. It creates a cloud with each new relationship or each new person they meet. And therefore they start making they make their own bad decisions not to add all the other stuff around it, but they make their own bad decisions, and it's based on trauma.
Right. It's so I'm gonna go boy, girl, girl, boy. Okay, Sergio.
God dang.
Go ahead. No, Sergio, what is it that the guys are bringing this to the table that's kind of messing it up? Like, what are dudes doing to kind of dirty it up?
I have to go back to trauma, and it's really our community as a whole. I feel like we're adults, but there's this little boy and girl inside of us that still yearns for this love from a father or a mother, or feeling understood. So we are a wounded culture. So I feel like we both bring those wounds. And I think if you're honest with each other, say, hey, babe, I've been through A, B, C, and D for my mom. Hey, babe, sir, I've been through this with my dad. Okay, cool. Well, let's talk about it. What's up? Like, really be down to heal each other and be vulnerable in that space. Because men try to have their ego and try to hold it down. Women, they want to have their space too, but no, like, we are a hurt culture. So I think if we come into a relationship as a teammate to heal, it'll blossom, man. So I think men come into it probably, I guess, for instance, for myself, I had to grow up really fast, so I didn't have a mom. It was like I was taking care of her. She's like a big sister to me, feel me? My grandma's like my mom. So there's some things that are some holes that I may unconsciously project onto my lady and don't even know it, or not having an absent father. You feel me? I feel like there's holes in my manhood as far as learn how to be a man, like how to play catch up, how to learn how to be a man from different other men. I didn't have that foundation that some of my other friends have. So my emotional stability is not as strong as it should. You know what I'm saying? Probably hence why I'm doing Casa de la Sergio to the crib. You know what I'm saying? That probably plays into ways like that. You know what I'm saying? So not having a father, man, and having these issues, trauma, pretty much what Dionna said, trauma.
What about you, T. Marie? What do you think that women are bringing that's outside of trauma? What else?
Entitlement. I think women feel like we're entitled to so much just because we're women. I really do. I do. I think that, and I think when they come to situations, they're like, well, I'm a woman, so you should do this. Well, I'm a woman, you should do that. You're a woman, but you may not be the woman that man is interested in. So I think sometimes we come to the table thinking, well, you should spend this much because I'm a woman. You should do this for me because I'm a woman. I don't think that. And that they'll project up on a man, and it'll make a man not want to do those things, because you don't get that just because you're a woman. You're not entitled to anything from anybody just because you're a woman. You still have to present yourself as a woman that is entitled to that man's whatever he has based on your value to him and your value to each other. So I think entitlement is a real big thing that we're using to try to build our confidence and make people think that, yeah, I'm a woman and I have big booty, or I got big breasts, or whatever I have as a woman, and you should do this just because. So I think entitlement is really ruining our connection with men. I really do.
All right. And what about you, Robert?
Yeah, you pay for dates, but you're going, Wiz. Yeah, I'll wait. I'm gonna wait.
I like it, Wiz.
The Wiz. Hey, look. So, Rob, what do you think that men are bringing to the table that's causing like a lot of the issues out here?
I think all of us had good points at the time. I think everyone had a good point. But as far as men wise, I think honesty is big. You know what I mean? The reason I say that because you can't be honest if you don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know what you want. You got to know your roots. You got to know why you are the way you are. You know what I mean? In order for you to even tell anyone how you are. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I feel like men will come into a thing and I don't think they just intentionally just lying. Yeah, girl, I want this back. The whole time they don't know what the hell they want. They don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, when they don't meet the expectation that she was expecting because you told her this, they don't even know why. Because they don't even know themselves. I mean, you got to start at the root, figure out who you are, why you think the way you think, why the society is the way the society is. You know what I mean? And I personally don't feel like a lot of ways that men think is forced upon us. You know what I mean? Because the black man, I'm only gonna speak on the black man because I'm black. You know what I mean? The black man is forced to think a certain way. You know what I mean? It's forced to move a certain way. You know what I mean? You got to realize we are the most hated man in the world. You know what I'm saying? especially in the United States. So a lot of things are going to be against us that we're going to have to work way harder than any other race just to accomplish. I mean, so the thing is, you don't understand why society is the way it is and why you think the way you think and why you walk and talk and act the way you act, then you're not going to be able to tell someone what you want. I mean, so
Right.
it's all about honesty, but the only way you can be honest is if you know who you are.
Right. Well, I'm gonna say this. This my own. I'm gonna tackle both of them. I say men lack leadership. Right. I think due to the fact that we claim we're leaders, but and then there are some leaders out there as far as men, but I don't think there's enough leaders. I'm just being honest. What I mean by leadership is, one, not allowing a woman to take you there through her conversations, through her actions. We're supposed to remain steady, right? Steady. We're supposed to be very, very steady. Well, I said study. Yeah, we need to study our ass. All right. We need to remain steady regardless of what is around us. You know, part of being a man is to be, we can say, oh yeah, we're emotional when it comes to us sleeping and emotionally detached when it comes to sleeping outside of our house. But we also need to be emotionally detached when we see that some women may try to egg us on and feed us to try to get us going. Man, part of being a leader is being like, oh, okay, you acting like that, whatever. I'm gonna do what I need to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have, and that's a leadership quality to not be shaken during the time of a storm. And I think we like that because I'm being honest, we're becoming emotional, right? As a species, I see it. I also see that there are certain platforms, and T. Marie can definitely attest to this. There are platforms that are all over, not just through the internet, but also in your own cities where we're actually trying to bring people together to get an understanding. But guess who shows up for the most part? It's the women, right? It's the women that comes to these events, right? It's the women that's saying, even though some of the stuff I don't agree, you do have the coalition of Black women of America that goes around and just don't like men. I understand that. But then there are a significant amount of women that really want to know, fellas. I'm gonna be honest with you. They really want to know, and they're waiting for men to step up and tell them what it is. I don't think men realize that. And I can speak on that because this particular platform, honestly, the only reason why it's probably going to continue to work is because of the women, not because of the men. Because I pose questions and I have information, and there's a lot of other information. T. Marie as well have information, but the men aren't really stepping up. They have an opportunity. And the only time I do see guys step up, especially on post on the social media, if a woman says something he doesn't agree, and then it's an argument, right? Being a leader is to be able to be steady. Now, for the women, the accountability. We just talked about this earlier, right? The accountability of you messing up, but also be accountable to who you get you know what I'm talking about too.
Yeah.
You got to be accountable for. You can't get mad. Honestly, you can't get mad at a man who lied. Let me tell you why. Because you have something that is much greater than a man, which is your intuition and discernment. If you take your time, right, and hold out on giving it out, guess what? It will show you through time before you do it. But what happens is, I think women reverse it, and then when they reverse it and give what they need to give during that time, they get mad because they say, well, he wasn't honest. Well, go back and track how did he get there? He got here due to something that you gave. You just gave it at the wrong time. So be accountable for it.
Yeah.
And if you mess up, be accountable for it. We probably respect more if a woman does say, so baby, why you didn't cook my favorite meal today? Well, I didn't cook the favorite meal because little Johnny was down the street and he fell and busted his lip. And then I had to go over to the grocery store and did so-and-so. And they was sitting here like this. Right? Like, we just want to know why you didn't do it. Be accountable. I think the details sometimes is a stall tactic. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a stall tactic. Some case, we need the direct answer. If we need anything else, guess what? We'll ask you. Until then, just give us the answer. So accountability and leadership will be the two things I think that both parties aren't really.
And just so y'all know, it's not a stall tactic, but we just be trying to give y'all all the information that y'all don't necessarily need. But you have to remember, we're communicators. We do have a lot of details because we're trying to get you to understand, and it's hard for y'all to understand because you guys are so simple. So it's a balance. We need to use less words, right? Y'all need to understand that we're going to use words, so don't be frustrated in that. You know what I'm saying? It's a work together thing, but we're not trying to stall. We're really trying to make you understand why we didn't get to the cooking your dinner, or whatever it was. We want you to understand why, not that we just didn't, but this is why.
Right. We want you to know that it's not us being neglectful, or us not caring about your needs. Like, and you have to remember that, like you said, a lot of that comes from our upbringings, right? Most of us were raised by Black women or grandma. If you was raised by a woman who required more answers than they could tell you, wash them dishes. But if you came home late, they wanted to know why, where, who, what you were with. And so it's a preemptive action that we do.
Okay, so just the funny part about it, I mentioned some things what the guys may do. I have not heard one guy try to detail why. Y'all just gave us details on why. We really don't care.
John, let me tell you something, Mark, and let me tell y'all something. I'm getting sick of this.
Hey, we just asked them. We don't really care about all that.
I don't care. I just said that we need to understand why each other does each thing. Now, stop saying the men didn't do it. You know what?
We just want to correct it. We don't care.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, but it's conversation.
Yeah, we just want you to. Yeah, we're gonna learn to bring back some words, but understand we're gonna have some words. That's all we trying to say.
Go ahead, Rob.
But you see how she snuck in, called men are so simple. Now listen, Sergio said something about men being simple. He wasn't saying simple-minded. You know what I'm saying? She said the men are so simple, like we just simple-minded. No, we're simple to get. Like we're speaking on this level. You know what I mean? Like it's not hard to figure out what we trying to do. You know what I mean? And you said men are so simple. Like what the hell? Or we supposed to be educated? Like are we in special ed or something? What you mean by that?
Somebody was simple. I said
that. Yes.
You were saying plain though, like you were saying plain, not like simple, like in the mind.
See, there you go, misunderstanding what I'm saying. And what did I say? Everything you said is not but stop accepting everything we saying as an attack. It's not an attack. It's for understanding. I'm not attacking you, Black man, Sergio, Robert. I'm just wanting you to understand so we all can get an understanding. My whole communication is about understanding. Okay. Even if I raise my voice.
Hey, Robert. As far as the simplicity, we don't need a lot of words. That's the point.
Y'all talking about the piece of slang up,
but you know what though, and this is all in fun, but it's just like, regardless of what we tell you, you still don't want to do it your way. It is weird.
It's not. It
creates relationships. Mark, you do understand that communication creates relationships, and if y'all had y'all way, every conversation would be yes, no, the end, right? But that's also part of the reason why in your Black male community, y'all aren't sharing what's popping. Like y'all aren't communicating with each other about what's going on because y'all don't know how to communicate. Which is why with Black women, we are each other's rock. Like we got husbands and sons and fathers. But when it comes down to like T. Marie's business or her sisterhood, they hold each other down because we can communicate with each other. And I know that was too many words.
Now, I'm not gonna touch that part. I'm not gonna touch that part of why that y'all like got this sisterhood going. Ain't no, let's be honest, ain't no real sisterhood going on. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I got sisterhoods. I can't talk about.
Well, you do. There are smaller pockets of it, but overall, there's no sisterhood. Overall, it's not.
But overall,
You know
y'all
why?
don't have small
You know
pockets
why?
of malehood.
You know why? Because women hate on. There's a large number of women that hate on each other. Right. That's one. Two, dudes only do what dudes are allowed to do. So if you got a dude that's married, and he has to have someone to sleep with, and if the woman knows, the sisterhood would be, no, you cannot. But what happens? It's easier for those guys to open their, it's easier for women, they're opening their legs up and not even considering the other woman that they're violating. They don't do that. They don't do that. So that's not a sisterhood to me. For me, a sisterhood would be you guys are lockstep. You ain't no hate. You know, you're gonna always have a few pockets of hating, but from an overall spectrum, I don't see there's no togetherness. I'm just being honest. I don't see it. So
I think she was just talking about in your community because it's
right.
not an overall, but you have to create your own. She was saying me and mine. So we do you. Okay. I agree. Okay. You have to create your own pocket of people.
Right. You do got to create your.
Yeah, you have to create your own core. Yeah.
I just want to clear the whole sisterhood thing up because the only time the sisterhood applies is when men are saying something. No, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Only time the coalition comes out if a dude has an opinion on what someone has on in a picture. Right?
Oh, well, no, I was talking about
come up.
Hold on
for a second, Sergio. I'm gonna come to you in a minute, Sergio. A picture would come up and the guy can have an opinion and say, well, I don't like that blue dress. Oh, you don't like your mama because you don't like that blue dress. No, I just don't like the blue dress. But then if y'all say I don't like the blue dress, then it's like hornets that say, I don't like that blue dress either. Yeah, that just show this like a girl. Look at, you know what I'm saying? But one dude said the coalition comes out. So
yeah, I was talking about individual pockets, Mark. I was saying like,
okay. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sergio.
No, I'm glad you made that clarification because as you were talking, Ms. Dionna, you mentioned how men don't know how to communicate like we do. Like I rock with Mark. That's one of my workout homies. We have real conversations. So you may say men don't know how to communicate. We do. It's our little pockets we created. So you may not have experience knowing how men communicate with each other like your husband. Hopefully he has a couple of keys in his life where that's his pocket that he created. You know what I'm saying? So we do know how to communicate.
No, yes, you do. But what I'm saying is if we don't, in your circle of your men, you all have more than yes, no conversations. What I'm saying
is we're very simple. Our conversations is really only three things we talk about. You know, three things we're very simple. Our conversations are not long.
Sex, what?
And money.
Okay.
And maybe cars, maybe. But
it ain't just yes and no.
But it's not yes or no, Mark. It's all I'm saying is
the details are very minimum. I like so and so because so and so sports. I like the. We don't give the long details of why we like our sports teams, right? We just say I like them because they don't. Yeah, I can imagine a woman saying, "Well, you know, I like the Atlanta Hawks because you know the colors they're real nice and the way the cheerleaders come out and the popcorn good at the stadium." We're like, "What the hell they got to do? Why do you like that team? Let's get to it." You know what I mean? So my point is that it's not that we're simple or we don't communicate like probably we should with you guys. It's just it's almost like two different languages, right? It's like you guys are probably speaking Spanish and we're probably speaking English. So when we talk English to you, it's like Spanish, and your Spanish is like English. So it's like that to me, I think that's what the problem that we have to put ourselves in each other's shoes. So I have a 3-to-1 rule I just came up with. I just thought of one today, right? I'm just funny that we talking about this. My 3-to-1 rule is if I'm with someone, out of three things you may tell me, I'm gonna give you one topic to give me some details on, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. The other two, let's get. But I'm gonna give you your one that you can put me through the trauma. All right, I'm gonna I'm gonna let you drag me for one of the ideas, but the other two, you better get to it. You better get to it before you lose me. So that's my new rule that I came up with. I'm sorry. So at least you got one detailed conversation with me. So one for every three. Okay. So make sure you do them wisely. Go ahead, Sergio.
I think we're very direct, bro. Because even us, hey, say what you doing? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool, click. It's missing it's information exchange. That's it. When we text our partner, where you at, bro? What time? Okay, boom, I'll be there. Boom. Not like what you wearing, bro. Hey, bro, for what? But I do understand with Dionna. She wants to say, hey, man, I'm wearing this. You have to kind of find that balance because we're not black and white. I do get it, but I think once we understand how we communicate and not be offended if you don't try to hear all that. Like I got the gist of what you said. We're so simple. We're simple. We're so smart that I don't need all that. I got it, babe. I got it, babe. But sometimes you want to keep on going to make sure that we have it, but we do. When we tell you we do, we really do. If we don't, I don't understand. Tell me about that. If I don't, I got it. Trust me.
Yeah, I believe you, Sergio. I think it varies by person and the way that they interact, right? So there are people that you can talk to and off break, they got it. So you don't feel the need to go down the rabbit hole. And then there are some people, I don't mean any harm. Some of us have below grade level reading capabilities when they graduated or did whatever they did. Some people are still writing one sentences and it requires 3 paragraphs.
I feel you.
So let's gain understanding, ladies. I'm gonna give y'all so we can go ahead and just get this out the way for the last time. Hopefully, people can look back at this and try to get some understanding. So, why is it important to give the details on everything that you communicate with your particular person? Why is that important to you?
For understanding. We're trying to give it to you for understanding. We want you to understand us. We don't want to be misunderstood and we want to be clear. And we want to make sure that we understand you as well. So for us being a communicator and remember, the woman is a communicator for everybody normally, especially if she's a wife. She's a communicator for the husband. She's a communicator for the children. She's talking to the doctor. She's talking to the teachers. She's talking to everybody. And all these conversations, oftentimes it requires details. So when we're talking to you, we also want to give you the details so that there's no misunderstandings. We're understood and that you're understood. So we do it for understanding. Period.
And let me add to that, T. Marie. I also hate repeating myself. So if I give you all the details in the first iteration, I don't have to say, well, I missed that. I didn't tell you that. I can say, I told you to do that now. And we can keep on moving. It is a management skill though.
Sometimes too many details can create confusion sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like if you feel like you gave me all this dissertation, and I'm like, dang, what'd she say before? I forgot. No, just give it to me. Give it to me in a paragraph versus a whole couple of pages. You feel me? Like, do it like
I get that, but I also will say that if you are trained in a way where you are given the details and all of the information, it is something that you are naturally able to do as you.
So where does that come from? What does that come from? What
do
you think?
For me, it comes from. Yeah, for me, it comes from my upbringing, having to be a latchkey kid, having to be very independent by 3rd grade. Like those are skills where my mother would say, do this when you get home. And when she came home, those things needed to be done or it was going to be a problem. And I didn't want the problem. So you learn those things and then it gets reiterated. When you went to college, if you went to college, your professors gave you a syllabus. They gave you all the information at the beginning of the semester. It was up to you to read when the test was, when the paper was due, what chapters to read, what work was to be done. Fast forward, I'm a full adult with a whole career when I do project management. I don't have time. All my work is about the details. It is about the details of the cost, when a project is late, what day an assignment was supposed to be done. All of that is all of what I do.
Yeah, and I will say, and I will commend, I will definitely say this, to your point, that's why that's one of the reasons why I feel like they say women are the most high, black women are one of the most highly educated genders, I think because of the details, right? Because you guys can definitely, part of being a nurse, I feel that is understanding the instructions and how to decipher the instructions that are given to you, right? For you to diagnose whatever the problem is in the house, right? So when you have a nurse, when you have a nurse in spirit, what happens is the more details gives you guys the ability to try to tackle the problem from your sense. So I can respect that. I just don't respect this done every single time. That's all.
We're gonna
Sorry.
work on it. We're gonna work on it.
Go ahead, Robert. You got something to say, Robert?
Oh no, I'm just, you know, I'm taking it in. Go ahead.
Yeah, you take it in. Yeah. So
It's a balance between all of us, you know, just learning
Right.
how each other communicates. That's just all. That's all it is.
Hey, Rob, let me ask you something real quick. When you hear that stuff going off, all the details in your mind, honestly, what do you be thinking? Like in your mind, what do you say? Because I know what I say in my mind, but what do you say?
So be honest with you, like I'm like, Sergio, once I get it, I pretty much don't hear nothing else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at that point, I'm like, okay. But I'm thinking about my next load, the next driver going to pick that load up. Where he at right now? I ain't heard nothing else no more. Cause once I got it, I already got it. I went back to work. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I went back to work, whatever I doing before we started getting on that conversation. So you just talking at that point, you know what I mean? So
and honestly, we know that. Like we see when y'all or hear when y'all done zoomed out somewhere.
So y'all like to do that. So y'all like to do that shit to get on our nerve. If you know
No,
that.
no, we're not doing it to get on your nerves, but we'll know we'll know pretty much how either the answer follows up after that or the quietness that y'all done zoomed out. You know what I'm saying? So that's just our time to be like, let's just wrap this up. I watch my daddy all the time zoom out. My mama be way over there still talking. My daddy be like,
Go ahead, Sergio. Go ahead, Sergio.
So my mom was talking about how like men like the headline and the bottom line. Women want all the details in between. Like we just need the headline and bottom line. What's something? Then we can talk about the inside. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where it's at. I know women want to feel heard, so we give a lot of details. We get it, but sometimes if we give it too many details, we're gonna tap out. But you're still gonna keep talking because you want to feel heard. So it's like, at what point are you taking over a compliment or I'm not saying you being a bull, but you know we're gonna listen to you because you are a chick. You feel me? But like, damn, bro, you feel me? We trying to keep it moving. So, bottom line and headline. That's all.
You be like, girl, be quiet. I got it.
Yeah.
We'll be quiet.
And you know what? Are you sure? Are you sure if you tell you that it's all good?
That's what I was going to say.
Yes, sometimes you just be like, T, I got it. Okay. Okay.
If your action shows that you got it, we'll use less words. But when your actions don't show that you got it, like if you read the headline, and you know how headlines are, sometimes it's just to draw you in, right? But you miss all the points in between, then you ain't got it. But if you can read the headline and the subtext and do it right, we gonna leave you alone. We're gonna be like this.
Okay. So what about paragraphs? You know, in college, right? You see the topic, sentence, and the conclusion. So that's all we need. So you get the gist of it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Dionna, you said something earlier, and let's clarify that because I want to make sure we all clear. You said something about do it right. Sometimes when I hear women say that, just my own personal view, and I don't know if the guys feel this way too. If you do, you do. You don't, you don't. Well, when I hear do it right is do it my way, right? That's right. I mean, that's what sometimes I hear.
Prime example, like the other day, my guy went to go get something to eat. Give me something to eat. And I said, babe, did you check the he was all the way back home. I said, babe, did you check the food? He said, nah. I said, well, how you know it was right? He was like, man, I guess if it wasn't, I would have had to go back, right? But to my point is when I'm I will hold up the line and be like, let me check my food because I don't want to have to go back. So to do it right is to do it easy, to make sure it's done right the first time so that you don't have to do the extra work the second, third, fourth time. I don't care how you do it. I don't care how you wash the dishes, as long as they're clean.
Right. Well, again, that's you just said something. See, you just ran right into that one. You just said something about you don't want us to do an extra work. You want to make sure we do it. And guess what? Sometimes the extra work to us, sometimes it can give us more accomplishing whatever that goal is, right? The fact that we were able to do it many different ways. So sometimes the extra work ain't really the wrong way. Sometimes the extra work is maybe we may want to tackle it a different way, in our way, but at the end of the day, as long as we get it done. Now you'll have a problem if the man don't get it done. Now you have a great argument then, but for the most part, the reason why the details for us are, which is a good thing. Let me give you all the positive thing about it. The positive thing about it is the fact that we are eager to solve the problem, right? We want to know what it is so we can get the problem behind us. And for that alone, you have to understand at the end of the day, we just want the problem solved. So you can be happy.
Cool.
That's it.
But what you missed, Mark, was my point, which was you doing it your way. If my food was incorrect because it wasn't checked, that would have affected me. And oftentimes when everyone's trying to do it their way, they're not acknowledging the impact it has on everyone else when they have to do it 2, 3, 4, 5 different times, or in certain situations, the resources it takes, or the more money it costs, or the time that's wasted. I don't have, again, if you do it, when you do it, and you're going to do it, and you're going to do it right. Because you wouldn't want me to cook you wouldn't want me to cook your favorite meal on the floor. You wouldn't want me to cook your favorite meal with dirty hands. You want it to be done right?
Okay, so you said, okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna just say this right here. I'm gonna say this. Right. Just using your example with the food, right? Really, we got the effect. The larger effect falls on us because guess what's gonna happen? 9 times out of 10, we don't get your food right, and you're a man or we're dating you. We probably either gonna give you our food or get back in the car, go back and get it right again. Okay, if we do that, then guess what? We got a larger effect. We're gonna be a little bit more inconvenienced to you.
No, because I'm hungry and I want to eat my food.
So we're gonna give you my food. If you take it or not, it's on you. But guess what? Most likely, would you agree, fellas? If y'all did that, you either gonna give your woman the food or you're gonna get in your car and you're gonna go out and make sure it's right. So guess what? We're still gonna make sure that you're straight. So we're gonna have to do more work for us. It's gonna affect us more if we mess up. So guess what? Let us go back and correct it. That's all. That's all. I understand you sweet. You want us to make it easy on us, right? But sometimes we are stubborn and hard headed, and we're gonna do it our way.
Sometimes you just want to do it your way, and that's cool. Right. And I think that's okay. But I also think it would be a non-loving relationship if you love the man or vice versa, you love the woman and you allowed her to fall in unnecessary potholes just for the sake of doing that.
So let me ask you something before we end up. Is there anything you guys want to kind of comment, question, etc.? I'm gonna let you guys have the floor, starting with Sergio.
Hey, real quick, I want to promote my little business real quick. Remember you told me
go ahead. Yes, Sergio does have a business. Tell them about your business, Sergio.
All right, so it's a sexy housekeeping service. All right, I know you're gonna laugh. That's cool. Go ahead and laugh, Miss T. Marie. Go ahead. So it's a sexy housekeeping service. It's called Housekeeping, etc. And so I have 3 packages: 30-minute, 60-minute, and 90-minute package. So for the 30-minute package, you can choose whatever room you want. I'll clean, fold clothes, wash the dishes, take out the trash, whatever you choose. 60-minute package, I'll clean plus give you a 30-minute massage. 90-minute package is the cleaning, massage, and cook you a meal. And so essentially, I want to empower the Black woman. That's just my nature. And there's a lot of Black women out there with a spouse or a dude at the house that don't do nothing for them. And they just sitting around the house. But I want to empower the Black woman because she works hard every day. Kick her feet up. I'll wear some sexy, wear some nice for you, and do a service for you. So that's essentially what it's about. And if I had my own woman, my own wife, I wouldn't do this for other Black women. But my drive in me wants to appreciate you guys. So it's called Housekeeping, etc. You can hit me up at sergiojamesservices@gmail.com, or you can contact me at 470-815-33.
Oh no.
You know that's just for single women. That ain't for the people that's got a husband right there.
He's going to marry women too.
Of course not. Of course not. My target market, I feel like, are like 45 plus. You know, maybe with a green kid or something, you know, but I really want to empower the Black woman. So housekeeping, etc., sexy housekeeping service. Boom.
Guess what? Guess what? And look, check this out. Here's the funny thing about it is the services he offer is for single women, and Casa de la Sergio is for the married women. So married women go get the same services at Casa de la Sergio. Now go ahead, T. Marie. Go ahead.
What was I going to ask? Oh, listen, can I ask you to be honest? I mean, you don't have to answer right here, but if a single woman wanted you to go somewhere else with that, would you do it?
I want to keep it professional, honestly, because word travels. And honestly, it's not for everybody. I'm very specific on who I even engage with because it's spiritual intimacies. And so I know me, I'm giving of myself. So it's not about the money, it's appreciating that Black woman who deserves it. Like for you, Miss T. Marie, I offer it to you. You know what I'm saying? If you're single, Miss Dionna, so you know, you can't rock with your boy, but Miss T. Marie, I would come through, clean the house, massage you, give you some food, chill with you, give you good conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Let me tell you something. I'll be right on that table, son. Okay.
Hey, let's get it started then.
I mean, some women are really, honestly though, that'll work for some people.
Yeah, I told Sergio. Eric, you keep recording. I told Sergio, I said, you know, there's definitely a market for it because it's funny because women are, especially women with access, that's pretty much saying, well, I'm gonna do whatever. Let's put it like this. There's a group of people, men and women, that are actually using their own resources to go to certain type of clubs. Let's be honest with you. To get you know, get the back blown out, right? They are. Let's be honest.
Service that like women can actually use: cooking, cleaning, and a massage. And a
massage, right? And conversations.
That's a pamper day for them. They can consider it a pamper day. You know what I'm saying?
Sergio will also sit down and watch TV with you if it's part of the package.
What's your favorite show?
So those are my add-ons. After I cook for you, want me to chill with you and hang out, cool. But once I find my woman, I ain't doing none of that for nobody, man. It's really like it's not selfish, but I want to please the woman, man. You feel me? So it's like I serve you, you serve me, but allow me to serve you. It makes sense.
Okay. So look, check this out. I got a question. Eric, you still recording, right? Okay, so I got a question for you, Sergio. I mean, I got a question for the women. Okay, I don't know if y'all saw Sergio's interview, especially a part when he was like, now this is the thing, I want y'all to see if y'all can address this part with him. Sergio said he's never really been in a relationship in his whole adult life. Is that correct, Sergio?
Long situationships, but not like you're my woman, you know what I'm saying? I'm your man, not claiming me, but it kind of teeter-totter.
It's teeter-totter. So what are your thoughts about a man that's 35-year-old? Because I've heard different things. What are your own personal thoughts when you hear a man says, hey, I've been in situationships, but I've never been in a relationship in my adult life? What are the first things that come? Be honest. What are some of the first things that may come across your mind when you hear that?
So when I hear Sergio's story, I actually just feel like he's not really available for that. The reason I feel like when I hear all the things, the little cues, you know, I'm in school, I'm working on myself, I'm working on my businesses. I don't think he's really been looking for that. Not to say that you won't be happy for it to show up, but I don't feel like you're actively searching for that. And I also feel like your words say that you're not actively searching for a woman. And so I know, like for me, I think you probably are an amazing guy, but I don't think that for women who may be in your age range that are actively looking for that, you present like a man that's ready for that. And so that's part of the reason why I don't think you had those relationships, because according to you, you know, like, I don't know you, but according to you, you check all these boxes. And so for you to check all these boxes, the only person preventing you from being in those relationships is you.
Okay. So Robert is a single, successful man. Robert, when last time you been in a real relationship? Long term. And what's the longest relationship you ever been in?
The longest relationship I've been in was about 2.5, 3 years. And the last relationship I was in was 2019. No, I think it was 20. Something like that.
So,
But it was
so-
like 19 or 20.
So based on those stats, T. Marie, what do you, a guy who has the situation in order, etc., and you hear that, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear that?
Two things. One of them is, why is that not something you desire? Like, what is it that you've experienced before, or whatever's going on that's not something that you desire to have a relationship, right? So that's going to be my first question, because if you wanted it, you would have it. There's no problem for you to get that. So my first question is, why have you not? What's going on? That you're not doing it. And two, do you believe you can actually have it? Is it something that you even want? You know what I'm saying? Most of the times you don't know what you want. So because you don't know what you want, there's nothing particular that's going to stick to you, or that's going to actually, come your way, generate your way. So the first question is, why don't I have it? Right? Why is it something? And then the second is, what do I want that to look like when I have it? So if you haven't answered those questions for yourself, then you're not going to get that. And if you keep saying, Robert's saying he's just having fun, he good with just take, don't matter how many women. So that's exactly, he's never going to get that type of energy, because he's already saying that's all he's looking for. And for Sergio, same thing. If you're just like, well, I'm in school, you check all the boxes, like you said, but you have every reason why you let a woman know, I'm not available. So then you need to understand or find out, why aren't you available? Because then in the second breath, I hear you say, but when that woman comes. So now you need to be like, what is it that I'm not open to? What am I maybe afraid of? What's the holdup that I'm not even letting that be a possibility? And oftentimes men get so exhausted with being hurt and exhausting all their, resources. It's like, it just ain't worth it. So you have to come back to, is it worth it? Right? Do I want this? And am I willing to do what it takes to get it? So
that was
Go ahead, Robert. I know Robert want to go ahead.
Hold on.
Robert.
Now, you can't cut me off on this one. I got to listen. I was
you.
thinking about the whole time, saying to myself, top and bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, you were saying, first of all, a person got to know what they want. No. Take that back. You said, why am I like that? Right? You know what I mean? Why? Because if I wanted a relationship, I could be in a relationship. See, the thing about relationships, there's always sacrifices. You know what I mean? In other relationships, I put other people first. You know what I mean? In this time in my life, I put me first. You know what I mean? So if it don't accommodate how I live, the way I want to enjoy my life, you know what I mean? I'm not going to even put anything in it. You know what I mean? Because I didn't sacrifice to make others happy while I be miserable. You know what I mean? And I give you a prime example. I let people live with me when I didn't want to, but it was a sacrifice. You know what I mean? It made them happy, but I was miserable. You know what I mean? At this point in my life, I'm not with that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it don't accommodate me, if it don't make me happy, like, I'm cool without it. You know what I mean? So that's first and foremost. Second of all, I know exactly what I want. You know what I mean? And if you're not going to be able to have that type of relationship with me as far as have fun, enjoying life, I don't want to sit on the couch. I'm going to be honest with you. Some people like the house and stuff like that. Some people like sitting on the couch and watching movies. I can't tell you the last time I watched a movie at the house. Let me be honest with you. That's just me. But some people enjoy that. So if you enjoy that type of, hanging out at home, holding hands, cuddling, not seeing nothing but what's on TV, and that's you. You know what I mean? Me, I want to go somewhere. You know what I mean? I want to go have fun. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see, other things other than the house. You know what I mean? So I can see that when I get old. You know what I mean? So with that said, I know exactly what I want. So therefore, I'm not going to accept anything less than what I expect. You know what I mean? Because I can go to anywhere in the country and have fun by myself. You know what I mean? Some people can't do that. I'm confident in who I am. I mean, I'm confident in the man that I am. You know what I mean? I don't have to show someone, I don't have to tell a person who I am. When I walk in the room, a person recognizes who I am. You know what I mean? So there's a difference between me and someone that needs, someone else that needs clarification of who they are. I mean, so I don't get worked up on why I'm not in a relationship when I know why I'm not. You know what I mean? Like if it don't fit my lifestyle, then I'm not gonna waste any time with it. You know what I mean? That's just
Robert, how close? Let me ask you a question. If you see if the touchdown, what yard line? I'm use football as an example. What yard line are you? We'll say a relationship is a touchdown, right? Are you on the 50-yard line or the other end of the end zone, or are you right at the goal line to score a relationship? Like, what would you? How would you assess where you are for that? Like, are you right now? It's like, how do you see yourself in the near future? You think you think that's something you want to get into?
Well, I would consider myself as being at the 50-yard line in that aspect. The reason I say it because I'm not saying just strictly no to a relationship. What I am saying strictly no to me compromising my happiness for somebody else's happiness. That's what I'm saying strictly no to. You know what I mean? So therefore, we're both happy and we can go and hang out, kick it, have a good time, and still do, you know what I mean, the things that make us both happy. You know, I'm all open for a relationship. You know what I mean? But what I'm not going to do is sacrifice my happiness for somebody else's happiness. I'm not going to do that anymore.
So in 4 years, so in 4 years, would you say that you're just at a point where, or excuse me, for the last 4 years, I guess what you say, you just running into people that don't fit what it is you.
And you know, the thing is, no, I'm not going to even say that because I meet, you know what I mean, some fairly nice women. I meet some fairly mature women who got the things together and stuff like that.
Look at T Marie face. Look at T Marie face while she talking about you.
Like, you know, like I'm not putting myself out there on. You know, I just feel like the point I'm trying to make is I'm not gonna go and scrape the bottom of the pole when I know that's not where I'm at. You know what I mean? You know, I know what my lifestyle is. I know what my criteria is. So I'm not gonna go and get something that don't meet me. I mean, so I'm not gonna go get a motherfucker who make it $20,000. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest with you. But the point I'm trying to make is this right here. Like, I met some decent women over the years, but a lot of time it end up being friendships. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm strong on friendship. So, you know, we may be able to go out and kick it, may be able to go out and have fun, but we may not be, you know, the chemistry as far as a relationship may not be there. You know what I mean? You know, and that's how it be sometimes. But if you jump into a relationship with the first person that you feel like you can go and hang out with, it's probably gonna fail too. You know what I mean? So I'm just a little slow to react when it comes to trying to, you know, put myself in a situation that could possibly be ending later on due to the fact that I want the relationship to continue to be a relationship. I want the friendship to be a friendship even afterwards. You know what I mean? So I'm still cool with a lot of exes and stuff like that, you know, because just the way I go about, you know, taking care of business.
So Dionna, what's your assessment of everything he said? What have you came to conclusion when it comes to Robert based on what he just said?
I think Robert's just in a place. I think he's really at a place where he's like, I done had some hurt, and I done some things that I look back and reflect on and don't want to do that no more. So until I find somebody that's giving me what I want, I'm out, and I respect that.
Right, because sometimes we get the stigma as men when we approach things the way Robert is approaching it. Then it's like, oh, he just out here, he want to play. I can see. No. What I'm saying to you is that women's like okay, so like for me, I've been single now for 3 years, right? If I tell a woman that, they're looking at me like, oh, this nigga out here playing. No, I ain't out here playing. I can say the same thing. So a lot of times what happens is when we say those type of things, sometimes it can be deemed as us want to play. Would you agree, Robert? Like, do you get that?
I don't personally get it because my delivery is different. You know what I mean? I don't really get that. Most of the women I talk to and I have you know, conversation with them about, you know, different things and aspects. I don't get that from them. So they still want to deal with me and want to have fun, want to kick it, whatever the case may be. But at the forefront, they gonna know up front, like, you know, I'm a slow mover. You know, if it's not like, you know, accommodating to my lifestyle and what I like to do, and we can't, you know, we don't have the chemistry to go places, then, you know, it's gonna be what it is. You know what I mean? So I don't normally get that. Oh, you just try to be a player. No, I don't really.
I'm here to tell you, brother. They might not tell you, but it comes across their minds as you being that way. Though.
Okay, well, if it comes across their mind, Lord, they don't act on it. You know what I mean? You know, Lord, they don't act on it.
They will, because
go hang out and stuff like that.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, and let me tell you why I'm sticking over Robert's. Let me tell you why I'm sticking over Robert's way, because I've heard that. Here's the reason why I say I've heard that, because I get inboxes about each and every one of yous.
Not use.
Any one of yous, I get inboxes. Everybody on this panel, I've got an inbox concerning that, right? And everybody pigeonholes it. So I asked that question, and I framed it that way because, this is some of the feedback. It's weird, right? I'm sorry, I'm gonna scratch that. I'm not gonna say it's weird that people do that. People want to know. I mean, let me back up. People want to know, but I will say that we are definitely, women too, but we're definitely judged on the way that we move. And a lot of times, if we move in a certain kind of way and we're not in a relationship, or when women may ask, well, when the last time you've been in a relationship, and we may say X amount of years or whatever, then it's deemed to us as being players. And that's not always the case. I guess that's the reason why.
That's because they don't have the details. They don't have the details.
Right. That's what I was about to say. I think Robert gave the details.
Because
but why tag someone that if you don't have the details then?
Well,
I think it's the delivery and the timing. Like Robert said, like he basically was like, I've been in situations where I put other people first. I'm in a place in my life where I want to put myself first. And to me, that sounds, Robert, I'm not saying that you needed to be healed, but it sounds like healing. And when you're in the process of healing, you make decisions that are best for you. And you do that so that you don't hurt other people. And I respect that, right? Mark, I don't know your story. I don't know if you out here like, I need space. I'm healing.
Well, I get it bad. I can definitely tell you that. I get it bad. I can definitely tell you that.
But here's the thing though, everybody don't need to be jumping into something a year later. And I don't, for whatever reason, after you've had a breakup, whatever time you need is whatever time you need. And this, whatever time that is whatever time that is for you. Because when you decide that that's best for you, then you're going to be the best version available for somebody else. Yep. So nobody should rush you when when you're ready. When you're ready is when you're ready.
Hey, T. Marie, have you ever been in a position where you actually been on a date and a guy tries to throw that you like sometimes guys and I'm gonna ask you this. So a lot of times when guys meet women, they already have whatever you present for whatever reason. If you've never hooked up with them, I'm gonna frame it this way. If you've never moved forward in a relationship or a serious situation, have you ever heard something as far as something preposterous a man may have said based upon you're not really vibing with him? Like, what are some of the things you hear? Like, because for example, like I hear women say, well, because I ain't want to get with him and the way I want to do it, then I'm stubborn, or I am bitter, right? So what is some of the stigmas that you get being a single woman based upon everything you do and how, because you have a strong presence now. Some people can determine it can look at Robert. Some people can say, T. Marie, beautiful woman, has a head on her shoulder, doing her thing. She didn't get with me, so Shawty just bitter. Like, do you get pigeonholed like that a lot?
I don't know if it's bitter. I don't know if they think I'm bitter. I've never.
What's the vibe? What's the vibe they get?
I think the vibe is that they think that I'm better sometimes. And I don't even come off that way, because one guy even said the words I was using was too big. Like, I'm like, wait, I'm just saying, no, seriously. And sometimes if they see you you can't hardly let nobody know how you living, what you driving. You know what I'm saying? When you have to really play this role like you don't have nothing going on. I have a lot going on, right? So we can't even have that conversation about what I'm having going on. I almost have to play down, kind of, as if I'm not doing nothing, just so. And I'm just having regular conversation because I don't be. I got a whole bunch of bills and shit and stuff that I'm doing. Like but they'll think that I'm brat, and I'm not. We just having a conversation, and I try to turn it back so we can talk about him because I want you to talk about you, and so I just get this thing that people think that I think I'm better, and I don't. Y'all know I'm not like that. I swear I don't even move like that. That I think I'm better. So I don't know.
Better sometimes. I'm gonna come to you, Sergio. Better sometimes to me when I hear people say that, men and women, same species, gender or not. To me, when people say that is because they want you to be at a space of where they at, right? Mm-hmm. If you know more than them, then you will know it all. No, I just took time out to try to figure out a little bit more than what you figured out, right? Mm-hmm. And so people automatically, because I get that. Like, I love to read, I love history, I love information. And if I damn near care about you, I might spread you some information, not because I'm a know-it-all, it's because just be like I'm giving you anything, because if I didn't give you nothing, then I don't really care about you. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Sergio.
No, Miss T. Marie, it sounds like you have a long day. You're very busy. Sometimes it be a little stressful.
Here we go.
You may need my services. I'll come through, help you clean for you, vacuum with the way you need, rub a bubble bath, you know what I'm saying, feed you, give some good attention. And it sounds like, I can, we'll connect pretty well together.
Shameless plug. Go ahead, Robert.
So that's funny, but I kind of want to touch bases on what those people really said, and the only thing that comes to my mind when she was talking was like, you just run into the wrong guys. You know what I mean? The reason I say that because not one time have I met a woman and I felt like we was in competition. You know what I mean? Or I felt
that's because you got your stuff together. Yeah.
Like I don't have those. Like I don't think like that. You know what I mean? Like, I like when you tell me that you got all this stuff. You know what I mean? Because at that point, I know personally you don't really need me. So now we can really have a genuine good time. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be a give and take situation. We can build something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have those problems where you got to dumb down your lifestyle and stuff like that. I'm like, that's foreign to me. You know what I mean? Because you're supposed to be proud of your accomplishments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but women typically have to tune it down, because a lot of guys do get kind of like, because what happens is, and I'm guessing, but I'll say this: what happens is the moment a woman probably knows too much, I think in a lot of men's minds, they feel like they can't really control the situation.
Can't tell you nothing. They act like you can't tell you nothing.
But you know what? Yeah. Even before, I think they got a lot to do with the man's character. And the reason I say that, because even at times when I wasn't making what I make now, even at times when I wasn't where I'm at now, I still met women or meet women that had more than me, and I still didn't feel that same way. You know what I mean? Because like, her accomplishments doesn't speak that I'm less than her. You know what I mean? It's all about knowing who you are from the get-go. So I never had an issue even before I started making a little money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I just feel like, when it boils down to it, if I make 100,000 and she makes 300,000, I'm still gonna be the man. I'm still gonna, know what I'm saying, negotiate these things with her, and she's still gonna respect me as the man. I mean, It's not about what I make, it's about who I am. It's about how I lead the relationship. It's about the things that's about me that she's gonna uplift and understand and appreciate who I am. It's not even about the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Robert, I'll definitely say this, brother. And I'm gonna say this: you're definitely in the minority of that thought pattern. Like you probably there are some guys that think that I know Sergio thinks the same way as you. Similar. I don't want to speak for him, but I don't think money is the thing that deters a woman for Sergio. I don't know, Sergio. What about? I can't speak for you. How do you, as far as woman? I mean, as far as their money and stuff like that. Like, what is that fit in your mind? Like, because some men can't deal with it. What about you, Sergio?
Oh, it doesn't bother me. It's about how she treats me. Because sometimes women can use the money as a flex. Like she's that nigga. So do what I say. Like it's about the respect factor. So for Miss T Marie, she got money. She got more money than me. That's fine. But if she try to make me feel like I'm small, does she allow my
Right.
manliness to fill up that space? You feel me? Because she can try to buy a dude, but is he me? Nah. You know what I'm saying? So it's about having that conversation. So I don't mind my lady making more than me. It's about our chemistry and let's build and let's flow together. But I think that's the other reason why I don't feel like I'm ready, because I am in school to get my career to get my money up, so I can't sustain a relationship. I can't provide for my family. So realistically, if I feel like I can't support you and the family, I'm not going to even like fully entertain that, because I am older. I'm not 25. I'm 35. So my mindset is different. So I'm gonna put it on the table. Here's how I move. This is what it is. So money, nah, man, it's about building up. So me and Miss Timmy gonna work out very well, because I'm not even worried about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So
I got you.
No, I got no money. I got a good job. I do hustle, and I got bills. I like nice shit.
The more money, the more money you got, the more bills you get, right? That's definitely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Right.
it. And some people be thinking like I want y'all to know as a lady, I still need like my nails and feet done. I like all the pampering stuff, and I don't want nobody coming in like, oh, you already got that. I ain't gotta do that. Yes, you do. Those are things that make me feel good.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good. Just do something for me. Don't look at me and think I can do everything by myself. That ain't what the fuck I came to do.
Financially free, women that has finances and they can do pretty much what they want, and especially business, as far as entrepreneur women, they really have a hard time. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
Yeah, right.
Yes,
they
we
have a hard
do.
time.
Yes,
They have a
we
hard
do.
time. But you know what the foolishness is? You know what the foolishness is? I'm gonna just say how foolish men can be. I'm just gonna be honest. For any man that says, I'll tell the women this, any man that said, because I've heard women say this, any man that has said, well, shoot, you don't need me for nothing. It's like you already got it. You don't need to be with that man anyway, right? Because his logic isn't working. Because me, what I hear is, okay, well, shoot, if she comes in the bank or
Your mic went out.
if I get with her and we are cohesive, here's what we're gonna do.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Carter, you're gonna get the information, bring it back to me.
Right.
Right. And ain't about the money, just the information, because women have access. They are partnering up with the people that have access. And what they're doing is, and I don't think people realize, is that and I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna boldly say this, women were actually given their right to create their situation now due to the fact that, yes, you guys work hard, but understand a system allowed you guys to get here. Like the system have to allow you to get through, because they can block whatever they want to, right? So what happens is when and this is actual, and you guys can look it up. Doing this report, which is the Kissinger report, basically what they said was, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna create a situation that women, mostly black, we will allow them, and you can pull it up. It's on the internet. It's a document. We're gonna allow women to do these things because we know if we allow women to do these things, it's gonna actually break the back of that particular type of family. It's an actual report. It's called the Kissinger report. You can look it up. And so, knowing that there is a systematic way that these things are happening, we have to partner up and say, okay, it's shifted, right? So since it's shifted, let me allow my woman to get the access and get all the information. Let her bring the information back. Let me multiply it while we're in the system so we can get her ass out.
Out the system. Because that's
and
all
then
I
guess
want
what?
to be is out the damn
I will
system.
rise and be the man that she probably wants to be because I've made it more than what she's already brought to the table.
And we want to give you that. Like, we want to multiply you. We want to take our resources and give them to you to make you bigger or make you better or whatever we can do. We want to do that because when we do that, that actually takes something off of us and then we all work better together. You know what I'm saying? We want to give it to you.
We want you to take it.
Take it. Give you all the access, and all the resources, and tell you all the folks I know and connect you here, there, wherever. All of that.
Hey, you know, and just to touch bases on that, I didn't have to read that report to understand exactly what you mean because I already thought about that. You know what I mean? And the thing is, they want the woman to be strong and independent without the man. So therefore, a lot of laws and stuff like that was created, especially in the 90s, to eliminate the black man from the family. I mean, to isolate the woman to be independent to where they don't feel like they need the black man. You know what I mean? So therefore, when you get a certain stature of independence, now it's like, nigga, I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? Type of, you know what I mean? If you're not, you know what I mean? If you don't understand the system, you know what I mean? But so they're gonna give more leeway to the woman to get the knowledge then before they give it to the black male. You know what I mean? They just, you know, just systematically because it's still systemic racism. You know what I mean? It exists every day. You know what I mean? So at any time they do not want the black man to understand the king that he is because we're naturally stronger than them in every kind of way. You know what I mean? So there's a lot that goes into detail with that. There's a lot of studying that I've done on it to understand where I stand and the way I think if everyone thought like me, it'll be something totally different. You know what I mean? But you're totally right. I didn't have to read that report concerning that. But you know, they
break it. Yeah. They break it down. They break it down. And then the funny thing about it, when they went back and looked at it years later, they realized that the effect they had was 10 times more than what they thought. Because the more power that the women were getting, the more that it built so much confidence that it made the men step back and the women, you know, you know, but that's a whole other subject. I don't even think I'm gonna even put that out, but because I don't want to get into all that stuff right now. I ain't got a platform big enough for me, anybody to be. I need to get somewhere before I get out of here. I can just say that. You know what I mean? But other than that,